This version of It's Erik Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
Are you ready? I said, are you ready?
It's Erik Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear, it's Erik Nagel.
Thank you, Scott Shannon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. I am Erik Nagel. Over there in the frozen tundra known as Arizona. Say hello to Jordan.
Hi, everybody.
And back here, it's not so lovely because it's finally turning into fall. It's freezing. It's raining. Apparently, we haven't had rain since August now, I'm being told by the local news.
Damn, that's a long time.
And this whole state and parts of the Northeast have been encased in wildfires. Every day you go out, it smells like you walked into somebody's chimney. And at night, it's weird because you see the smoke rings around the street lights. It illuminates. And you just think to yourself,
oh, what a glorious day!
The times that we live in.
Let's say, I think you're trying to take Arizona's bit.
I know. Jersey's
a lot of drought, a lot of smoke.
Ever since Jersey almost turned red during the election, they're like, hey, we could get attention for other things instead of being in New York shadow all the time. That's what they're doing. Anyway, welcome to the program, everybody. If you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, thank you very much for doing so. If you're listening through Apple, Spotify, any of those places you get your on-demand content, thank you as well. But do us a kindness, go over there, leave us a positive review. It does help out. I think I said positive review. It could have been jumbled. Do that. It does help out the program. And if you want to join us live as we do said program, you can head over to our live rooms on YouTube and on Twitch. We're also on Twitter there too, but we don't promote that. So not because we don't want to. It's just I don't think the chat feature works. From
chat comes through. I don't think we can interact as well.
Okay, well, until we can get a definite answer on that, Twitch and YouTube are definitely the best rooms to hop in and be part of the program. And that is all said and good. Oh, by the way, if you're listening on the audio version through the app, through the on-demand stuff elsewhere, I would like to get your feedback on something because you might have noticed, we had to change the break format. We lost a battle that we've been fighting for many years. We had to change the break format on the program. So from what I understand now is in between segments of stuff that we talk about on the show, they're putting ads in between that. Only the audio version. The video version has it your breaks normally in the middle or after segment one. But the people who do the ad sales for us and have you, I guess it finally came down that we just didn't have a say in it anymore because we liked putting them off to the break. It could have been the fact that we go maybe 1 to 2 hours before any kind of commercials play. So that might have been the issue.
Could be.
No. But it seems like every 20 to 30 minutes now ads play in between segments. I'll have to go and check that out and take a better look. But if you listen that way, you're hearing this now, send me some feedback through any of the social media platforms and let me know if you like that version better than how we used to do it. I don't know if we can go back to the other way.
Maybe length of show is what was causing it, but I don't know. Maybe this was just their way of being able to do it.
Yeah. Trashitarian. There we go. In the chat saying, like when I listen to the podcast, because this opinionated bitch will tell you what's up. That's the kind of opinionated bitches that we are looking for, Jordan, to tell us what is up.
99 problems, but an opinionated bitch isn't one.
I appreciate you being here during the live show. Believe me, don't go running away and say, well, I'll just listen to the podcast later. No. Stay here for that too.
Why are our numbers going down?
Do both.
Right.
You've got nothing going on. Do both for us. But yeah, if you listen through the audio version, either on the iHeart app or however else, the new break structure, I think happened 2 to 3 weeks ago. So tell me what you think about that. I know personally for me, when I'm listening to podcasts and they have that, I kind of learned the time pattern. I hit 1, 2 on the old skip button. Shouldn't be promoting that, but come on. it's what we
now, is
do.
this a
as
manual
humans.
process? Someone goes in and actually like listens to actually do that, or do you think they're leveraging AI to kind of place those ads in? Because I've listened to some shows where it feels like the ads get placed in the weirdest spots.
Yeah, I think that's automated because I know this company, other companies, they have some kind of rule like 20 to 22 minutes of programming has to have 1 to 2, like at least a minute ad or something,
Right.
1 or 2 every 20 something minutes. I had to concede and said, look, you need to listen. Because I've heard, like you, I've heard podcasts where the ads pop in and they're in the middle of a laugh, they're in the middle of a thought, they're in the middle of something. And then you know, a minute or so goes by and then you come back and you're like, wait a minute, what were they just talking about? Or it interrupted the flow of a conversation or a joke or something.
Just feels very odd because I was watching a show, and we'll go into what we watched later, but I was watching a show the other day and I don't pay for the ad-free version of Hulu. Like I get my Disney Plus. It comes with the Hulu bundle, but it's not the ad-free on the Hulu
Ad
side.
blocker. Oops, wait, no. We're not supposed to talk about that.
We're really giving away all our secrets.
All right.
But it does feel like the ads just hit at the most random spots. Like there's really no rhyme or reason to it.
I think for the streaming stuff, I pay for, like I cut a bunch of the streaming services recently because I was just like, I'm not watching anything here. But I think from what I remember with Peacock, the NBC platform,
right,
they're pretty good at, because they're running television shows on a streaming service. So I think they're pretty good with putting the ads based on the television breaks.
Where it would be normally in like
would be on television. So, which is fine, you know? I've seen things on Amazon Prime. So it's like, oh, the movie's free. It comes with your subscription. Great. I go to watch it. And then, 4 minutes into it, an ad pops up. And I go, I'm paying for this. Oh, you have to pay even more for the higher tier to now get the ads free because they added that like a year ago. I remember we were complaining about that. And I said, yeah, I'm not paying for that. And I'm still not paying that extra for it for ad-free movies and what have you. It's just the price that we pay for all this entertainment. Eventually, all of this is going to turn into that Black Mirror episode where the guy was on the young black guy. He's working in a facility and he's constantly has to ride on an exercise bike.
Oh yeah, that was like early on, like season 1.
Because it generates something like credits or whatever based on whatever you're doing. So if you're in your room and you put on the TV, which the walls were the TV, ads would come up. You'd hit this button and you'd have enough credits to skip the ad. And then that has now become exactly what entertainment is now, is just you're constantly finding a way to skip the ads. I've been seeing on Twitter lately, X, if you want to call it. I guess YouTube, Google changed some of their, I don't know if it's algorithm or
they're heavy
their
on
automation
the front now.
That it's constant. If you're trying to watch a long form podcast like a Joe Rogan thing or Tim Dillon or some, even if you pay to subscribe to that channel, like not just the subscribe for free, the pay tiers or whatever,
right?
You're still getting hit with these ads because it's on their platform.
Rough.
And I saw somebody today saying, well, we've officially hit the point where you can't watch YouTube without ad blocker. And I said, oh, that's interesting. And what happened? I was watching an episode of Uncle Rico. And it's like almost every 10 minutes.
It really is bad. And I watch these cooking shows on YouTube, and yeah, they throw in like 3 or 4 ads. And this is a like maybe 20-minute, cooking thing. And I'm like, why am I getting so many ads? And it is gotten a lot worse than it used to be.
Yeah. I also will point out, since we're talking about YouTube real quick, the app seems to have been somewhere in the last 1 to 2 updates they did, so maybe within a year, ultra sensitive. If I'm watching something on YouTube on my phone and I go to put my phone down, if I just brush across it for some reason, my Chrome opens up and there's an advertisement. It takes me to a website that had an advertisement that was on YouTube that was below the video, and I was like, I just took it and put it down on the table, and it constantly flips to the next video. It's so ultra sensitive, and I don't know how to turn that down because other apps on the phone aren't that sensitive. YouTube is just you brush at it, you look at it weird, and it's already changing the stuff that you're watching.
That's weird. I don't use the app as much. I've got everything on my TV when I do it, so I don't know. But I mean, that's something to check out. You have an iPhone, so I don't know if it's.
I do. And here's
Apple
something else that's fun. Apparently, I was 2 updates behind.
Oh.
I didn't, because I don't have it set to automatic update because I don't like that. And every time there's been an update, usually more times not. Same thing with the Xbox. Something fucks
goes
up,
wrong,
and then you got to wait several days for the patch, the fix, whatever they're going to do. So I would always manually hit the button. Something popped up on my screen in the middle of the night and says you need. It wasn't like, hey, you should update it. It was saying that it was either you need to do the update now, or it was going to restart at a certain time. And I've been there before. That means I'm way behind, right?
Yeah, they're forcing you to do it now.
So I guess my iOS was 16.
Okay.
And it upgraded to 17. And now it's telling me that I need 18.11. It's telling me update now or update tonight. That is my options.
Yeah. You're doing it. Just when you do it.
What does it come here? Makes it even easier to relive your special moments, stay connected with friends. But yeah, some of the features they changed, only because I forgot to keep up with it. I'm sitting there, I'm like, ugh, I don't like this. I don't like the way if you hit this button to add a photo to a text, like instead of the bar right below where you were, now it's down the side of your thing. They always got to fuck with something. Developers always have to fuck with something so they can justify that they are doing something.
Yeah, they know better than you.
Go back long ago. You used to see this all the time with Windows. Well, going from 3.1 to 95 or 95 was a big, massive jump. And that I understood. Some say they were stealing the Apple interface, but tomato. That was a big jump from how Windows used to run to that. Then sequent updates since then, Windows 98, 2000, whatever they want to call them. It's like,
Millennium Edition. I think I had the ME version once.
It's like, now the taskbar is on the side. It's like, stop moving this. Well, you can adjust it back to where it was. Then leave it there. Give me the option to put it the other way. Don't just change shit like that. It really, I mean, it's not just being like a curmudgeon with it, but when it comes to computer, like if you came into work the next day with the updates, I'm like, where the fuck am I? I mean, I'm not a guy.
You touched your mic. Hold on.
There.
Try again.
Hello.
There you go.
Okay. It's not like I don't do shortcuts on the desktop, but there are a lot of people who do shortcuts on the desktop. It's like, wait, this all got reorganized. Oh yeah, now your shortcuts are in this folder here on your desktop. It's like, stop touching people's shit.
Yeah, there's a joke at the beginning of Tron Legacy where they're like the big corporation Encom is talking about launching this new software. Right. They're like, well, what's different about this one? And they're like, we put a 6 on the box. I'm like, oh, well, that's fucking right. Like that's pretty much what they do, and they're going to charge a ton of money for it.
One time he spelled Yale with a 6.
There you go.
Anyway, so yeah, there was the phone and the app issue stuff. So there's that. Moving on. I had to go to a restaurant.
I
had to the other day for a family thing, right? Actually, hold on a second. Backtrack. Kevin Smith, not the Kevin Smith, but a Kevin Smith.
Hey, Kevin
Smith. He's a good boy. In the chat here saying, Facebook, you have to slam your phone to like a friend's post, but if your finger hovers over the screen too long or scroll too close to an Amazon ad, yes, that is true. Facebook is a fucking pain in the ass. And I've gotten, I mean, we've always been to this at this point, but anytime I try to post the episode updates on Facebook, now there's a whole like interface instead of just being able to post it and let it go on the wall. You need to add a button, make this an event so it can attract more people. It's like, stop selling me all this extra shit.
Yeah, they really try to get the views up on those. Yeah,
it's like, I don't care. And I saw the interface. I've seen the back end stuff that you could do all these tools and all these tools are available and all this these analytics and all these other things you can do with all of this stuff. It's like, you made it way too complicated.
Yeah, it's got like professional dashboard. They got all these different
It's
buttons.
great for a major business that just wants to use it to put their stuff there. But for smaller businesses or just people promoting their artwork or their projects, or it's like you've made this way too complicated. And Facebook, I barely gets any kind of interaction. Not saying that there isn't. They're nice people over there that follow us, but it barely gets any interaction compared to the other platforms that we're on.
We need to start posting more surveys that people can copy paste to their pages.
Right. And stealing from fake radio stations, saying about, what was the name of the street that you used to live on? It's like, oh, you want my password again. I'm not falling for this a third time. So yeah, I had to go to a restaurant this week, had a family event, and something new, a newer experience happened going out.
Ooh.
And immediately I texted Jordan and I said, I didn't tell him what it was, but I said, Jordan, I'm out at a restaurant with a brand new experience that we need to discuss.
And we've talked about this before. Every time you go out, every time you travel, anytime you interact with the outside world is always going to be something. I love when you always do this because you're like, you're right. You're like, hey, I've got a new experience to talk about on the show. And you didn't tell me nothing about it. Nothing. And I'm like, ooh, I like this because it's always something fun.
So, nice restaurant, trying this place for the first time. Never been there.
Okay.
Family, have the kid next to me.
Local place, going to the city kind of thing?
No, not in the city, in New Jersey.
Got it. Okay.
And ordering, we sit down. First of all, I've never seen the waitstaff hover over a dining situation before, because usually they come over, you sit down, they give you the drink menus, the regular menus, whatever. They give you a minute to figure out your drink orders, or maybe put in an appetizer or something, right? They come back in a couple minutes, you're situated. It's like, can we start you off with some drinks? And then you tell everybody, everybody tells them what they want. And then they go get your drinks. You look over the menus, they'll come back. Usually they take your appetizer orders and your regular orders if you're ready at that point. Sits down, hands the drink menu over, and people are looking at it. And I just said, I just want iced tea with lemon. I'm good. Okay. And then he's standing there.
Is he waiting for others to order, or he just
he's waiting for others? There's one drink menu, and it's like, it's in a fancy thing that's laminated or whatever. Yeah. So
it's like a nice book with all the wines in it.
Yeah, it's like that kind of thing. So one person's looking, the rest of the people haven't had a chance to look, and he's sitting there waiting to, like, are you going to take each individual order as they're looking through everything? That was kind of weird. Not the situation that happened, but these are little add-ons. Food comes, you're starting to eat. How's everything going? Great. It just got on the table. I haven't had a chance to try it. It was overly attentive.
Yeah. I love those ones.
Not saying that's bad, but it's just weird.
No, but if you just put the food in your mouth, first bite, and they're already asking you no, get away from my table. Just, give it a couple minutes to breathe. Let us taste our food and then come ask questions. My bit when I was doing the wait staff is like, look, you get everybody sat, you welcome them to the table, ask if you want me to bring a bunch of waters, and then you leave. Let them make their drink decisions. And then that way you come back with some water, you get them something to drink until they get their alcohol order, soda order, whatever, and do it that way. Just to hover over there just already sounds weird to me.
Again, not a bad thing, just a new thing. It was kind of weird. I've never had that. So anyway, going through, people get their drink orders, figure out appetizers, figure out the menu orders. Older couple, nice couple, sitting table near us. I'm not paying attention. I guess the kid's looking over the seat and smiling or waving or something like that. So the lady there, it's a husband, wife. She's saying hi to the kid, and kids, that's nice. Nice people. Little kid there being polite and all that stuff. That's great. Well, that seemed to have been an open invitation to them to constantly talk to us the entire night, because there were things going on where, we're having conversations and they chime in. Not so much.
Okay,
the husband.
that's weird.
A lady says, over here, something. We're talking about the kid, whatever. And she goes, oh, and she's talking about her grandkids and all that stuff. Again, nice lady, but it just seemed a bit uncalled for, right? I'm like, oh, okay. And then I got to a point where I just started picking up my phone and looking at my phone, and it was ignoring the fact that these people were talking. Everyone else at the table is a little uncomfortable. So they're like, oh, yeah, they're being polite and they're nice and stuff. Food comes around. Oh, we ordered this thing. And that's, oh, did you? Okay, that's cool. Eating for a little while. They're ahead of us. So then the husband, I guess, gets up to go to the bathroom. So this was her chance to turn around and talk even more to everybody. And she's saying, oh, the not the waiter, but maitre d', I guess, or manager of the restaurant. Somebody came over and said, oh, you should try these little palate cleanser liqueur things. It's like he brought it right over and he's like, you should have it before you have dessert. We're like, oh, okay, that's fine. She keeps talking and I'm like, we're trying to have a conversation. We're trying to talk about family stuff, holidays coming. I have family coming in next week for Thanksgiving. So, talking about that stuff. And every now and then, nice lady just keeps chiming in with other stuff. And we're like, she's from Trinidad and she's telling them about her grandkids who are over there, but they live over here. And they woke her up this morning to FaceTime her. They got up way early, in the middle of the night so they could say, hey, happy birthday. And we're like, oh, that's cool. We're doing a family thing here. Whatever. So a lot of this is going on.
Now, was this bothering anybody else at your table? Or were you more cognizant of the fact that she was now part of your family and we're going to be at your house next
I was sitting there I was grinding my teeth and gripping my phone and just staring at some people at my table. Now, nobody else said anything, but I could see one family member was, I think, on the same page with me. And she's being very polite to this lady. And she's just like, okay. No, that's great. Yeah. And we turned to come back. So we have, it's not like she's talking all the time, but it's way too many times.
More times than,
right?
Hey, I like your kid. I have grandchildren. And then that's the end of it.
Right.
Got it.
So we're finishing up and she's reminding us to ask him for whatever the little liqueur thing is that they were doing before dinner. Right. Mm-hmm. We're like, okay, yeah. Now she doesn't know I don't really drink anything. And I don't know if some of the other people that are with, like, they're drinking martinis or, vodka club soda, that kind of thing. I don't know if they want dessert liqueurs because those are super sweet.
Yeah.
So I guess she said something to the wait staff and the guy brings over these little dessert liqueur glasses. And it was a kind of a limoncello, right? Okay. I don't mind.
Kind of like having a liquid version of like a sorbet between stuff to cleanse the palate, right? And do all
so that. I don't mind a limoncello. I've had different kinds. They're fine in small doses. It's a dessert kind of thing. I don't drink it like, you're drinking a margarita or something. But I took one smell of it and I was like, this smells like you're cleaning the floor. It smells like Pledge. And I was like, somebody here, take it. Oh no, you should all try it. And everyone's doing they're taking their little sips. And I see people going like this, going, they're doing that face. We're like, what's not what I expected.
Just pure lemons.
And some of the family here are Italian, like Italian. And they're just like, what is this? Anyway. So it's all there. I guess the lady said something. I'm like, oh, it's one thing if the restaurant brings something over for you to try complimentary. That's one thing. That's fine. Other people ordering for you. I've been through this before where I've had problems where family members ordered for me and I threw a fit, right?
I remember. Now, here's the thing. Were you charged for these or did they get charged for these? Because as you said, this wasn't the restaurant bringing a complimentary pine sol. It was these people.
I don't know because I threw my card down with somebody else. to pay the bill.
Gotcha.
And at that point, I was trying. There's a bathroom story I got to tell you too, but I was going back to the bathroom the second time because I had to pee, and I just said, "Do me a favor, whatever it's split to, just sign my name and throw a tip on there."
Because my thing would be like, if they took the cost of that and just did you guys a solid just for you to try, yes, that's weird, but I can allow, like, thank you. That was nice of you guys. Move on with your day.
I can.
If you guys got charged for it, that is a hilarious scam that they just pulled on you.
I would assume, no, we didn't get charged for it because the other person who was also paying the bill with me probably would have said something like, hey, we had to pay for those. Now, they're not cheap people by any means, but, and they're drinking. No,
but you also didn't order these yourselves.
Right.
Cheap or not, why are you paying for somebody else's order?
One had an old fashioned, one had the vodka soda. So they're used to paying for, drinks. Nobody said anything, and I didn't look at the check. I handed my card and I said, just, I told somebody, I was like, just sign my name and throw a tip on there, please. I got to go to the bathroom. The wait staff, I think, assumed it was somebody's birthday because somebody was having an anniversary, and as there was like a few other things going on, but one of the couples had an anniversary, so there were flowers for that person. We're waiting for the dessert menus. I don't usually order dessert, so I was just like, all right, everybody wanted to look and see. The kid likes getting sorbets or something like that, so that's usually where the dessert comes in. All of a sudden, we start hearing, happy birthday, and you're hearing the whole, like, a bunch of people, and the wait staff's coming over. I'm like, oh, whose birthday? Comes over to the table, puts it down in front of me. And I'm making eye contact with our family members, and they're kind of like, they're laughing and they're singing along. Good. And I mean, I would have, if it was somebody else, I would have been like, happy birthday. Like, I would have gone with it. So, like, hey, and I immediately, quick thinking,
in front of you.
I take the plate and I go to the kid. I'm like, do you want to blow it out? Yeah. Kid blows out the candle. It was like a regatta cheesecake, right? So put it in front of the kid. Kid's going to town with it, whatever. We're all looking around like,
who said this?
Well, I got asked, like, when you went to the bathroom, did you? I go, why would I set it up for me? That's a move. You set it up for someone else at your table. And he goes, oh, yeah. And I go, yeah, I didn't go to the bathroom and say, hey, it's his birthday or her birthday. Can we do something? I don't go and say, it's my birthday. Can you bring me a cake and have everybody sing to me? That should be the new
bit. Just
right?
Make it. I was like, I really need a cake.
So the one family member, because he's laughing, he goes, did you go do that? I go, to myself? And he goes, he's laughing. And then the expression quickly changed. He goes, oh, wait, yeah, you're right. And I was like, yeah, for me. I didn't do it to myself.
It's pretty good.
So
how narcissistic of you.
Had I thought that way, I should do that to myself, but I didn't. That didn't even dawn on me that could be done. Because what manager would entertain that? Hey, it's my birthday. Could you bring me a piece of cake to surprise me and say happy birthday to me?
Look, these assholes aren't going to do shit for me, so I'm going to need you to bring me a piece of cheese.
Whatever. So we were trying to figure that out, and we're like, well, they had cards and flowers and stuff over there, so they thought it might have been somebody's birthday. Person next to me is opening a card.
Hold on. Happy birthday, Erik.
Thank you, Launchpad.
Thanks, Launchpad.
Appreciate that. Isn't that Tom from Alberta's?
It's Tom from Alberta.
Did I not know he changed his name last week?
I think he changed it like last week or the week before. We asked about it.
Okay.
He just, he wanted to change it. Good for him.
The rest of Eric's family was taking bets on how long it would take for the eventual Erik eruption.
But see, no, Tom, you have to understand, Erik doesn't erupt anymore. He gets to a point where he shuts down completely, will stare at the food, box it up, and want to go home.
I silently implode, and then I let it out on here and in the car ride and everywhere else. All right. So another thing that was going on is before the dessert stuff, cards are being handed out to this person for their anniversary. They're opening the card. The lady next starts talking during this moment when you're giving the person a gift for their anniversary,
Right.
and they're opening it up. This lady starts going, "Oh, it's like, is it your birthday? Oh, it's anniversary. Oh, that's great. You know, it's my 60th birthday." Like, she wanted to make it about herself. Now, I would say this is a very lonely woman, but she has a husband, so maybe they're a very lonely couple, because apparently their whole family, from what I understood of their entire history, she was mumbling throughout the course of the meal, is all in Trinidad.
Got it.
So, like, they're having their moments. They're going to open the card, and this lady's talking to the person opening the card and stuff. And yeah, and you could see that they're cutting open the card and trying to take the card out to read what it is. There's a gift certificate or something in there. I don't remember what exactly it was, but there's something else in the card. You're ruining this moment for a person. Like, you don't do that. If it was somebody's birthday and they're opening up a card, unless you gave them the card and there's something else behind the thought of that gift that you need to explain to them, that's acceptable. When they open it up and they go like that, it's like, well, this is a gift card for whatever, you know, that's fine.
Yeah, but that's usually, they're also part of the group.
Right.
Like, they're not a separate table from a different party,
right,
talking during that.
So while the cards are being opened for these people, and like this lady keeps going on, and I'm just just looking down at my phone. I don't know what to do, because it's affecting me, but it's not. This is a time where it's not directly affecting me.
Yeah, you're just more cognizant of it. Like, you're seeing it happen and unfold, and you're like, why isn't anybody else having this?
But in other instances of when I've had movie theater outgoings and restaurants and things like that, it involved me or something that happened to me. This was not happening to me, but it was next to me, and I'm like, lady, she's a sweet lady, but it's like, shut the fuck up. We're having a meal. Let these people enjoy themselves. Like, you don't need to. Pull up a chair.
I was going to say, at what point are they at your table now?
And at this point, we'll push that check right in front of your husband there. You can throw down a third card, because now we're going threes on this. So, yeah, this is what was going on the whole time. This lady was just constantly interrupting the night, constantly forcing a discussion and involvement in there. They brought me a birthday cake for some reason, which I don't fully understand. We got these liqueurs that everyone thought was, using to strip paint. Like, it was weird. It didn't even really look like a limoncello. It was like an off green. Almost
I'm telling
like,
you got lemon pine sol.
Something like that. Like when you get the green olive oil and it hasn't been fully like processed, and you're like, this is meant for sautéing, not for eating as part of.
This is not a dipping one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Dipping your bread in kind of thing. So yeah, all that was going on, and I'm low, as the kids say, low key seething, because it wasn't enough for me to get
up. No cap, Eric.
Huh? No cap. Full stop. It was not enough for me to lose my shit. It was not enough for me to turn my anger inward, and becoming one step away from Lewis Black's character in Inside Out.
Just blowing your top.
Yeah. So it was just weird sequence of events going on.
Now, you never found out who got you the piece of cake, right? Like, this was never revealed at any point.
No, the best we put together is that they saw the flowers with the one lady at the table, sure. Cards and stuff, thinking that it was just a birthday. So they probably were forward thinking on this, like, oh, it must be her birthday. Let's do a birthday thing. Instead of asking someone at the table, they just assume. Now, as weird as it was that the cake was given to me, because it was obviously this lady with the flowers and the cards, not me. Maybe we should have asked. I didn't think about it at the time. Maybe we should have asked, like, what made you think to do this? Whatever.
I was going to say,
I appreciate the attention to detail of this restaurant and the staff for being that forward thinking and paying attention. Even if it was incorrect, you could see the effort was there between the manager or the head waiter and the regular wait staff, whatever they were doing. There was a lot of attention to detail and constant checking on if we needed anything. So,
well, when you're there, your family.
No.
Are you sure?
Why?
Because Rob called.
I called the Olive Garden and tipped them off. It was Papa's birthday. Hilarious. I haven't been to an Olive Garden forever.
I can't remember the last time I've been.
I used to like the breadsticks and the salad. I mean, who doesn't? And the hack meal of the tour of Italy. But they sell the salad dressing in the stores for the last few years.
Yeah.
And read the label.
Ooh.
Because I was like, oh, cool, they have it. And you read the label and you go, oh my God, this is so terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
They started the bit where like people were going into Olive Gardens and buying the cheese graters. Like you could go in and request to buy whatever cheese grater they use to do like, hey, tell me when. You can buy those from them. It's weird. It's a weird bit. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get my
restaurant chain where you could just buy out the restaurant.
Right. Hey, I like that really large comical size thing of Chianti. Can I bring that home with me?
Right.
Well, it's nailed down, sir.
Can I get the unlimited soup and salad or the salad and breadsticks? Well, we only have 2 salad bowls left, so we're going to have to share between tables. Wait,
yeah,
what?
Table 7 bought a whole set of salad
Yeah,
bowls.
it's like we had this family in. All right, I got to say this. So, some of the Olive Gardens near me, it seems to be some of the church-going crowd.
Right.
Think that Sunday is the big fancy day out, so they go to the Olive Garden dressed up.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, Sunday's the big night out or the big day out for them, and you're like, oh, what is that like? It's like I don't even want to go there. If I had a gift certificate, if somebody's like, hey, I'm paying. Well, could we maybe go somewhere else? I don't really know if Olive Garden's where I want to be.
Right.
I mean, maybe a Carrabba's. It's a step up. It's not that big a step up, but it's a step up. I
haven't been to Carrabba's in forever either. I don't really eat Italian chain anymore. Like I'll find like a little hole in the wall place. I've got a local place that's not too bad, but yeah, I don't do the Olive Garden bit anymore.
And if doing that in this area should get you tarred and feathered.
I was going to say you have more options in the Italian.
And get hung up in the town square. Like just like it's like, oh, I got Domino's. All right, you're dead. You're dead. You're in the land of pizza and amazing Italian food, amazing seafood, a lot of great stuff.
And you're getting that $5 large pizza from Little Caesars.
I know. I mean, there's in any direction, there's amazing Italian places. I can go maybe 20 minutes away from me, and I've got at least 2 great Rodizio places I could go to. You got everything, Mexican places, Portuguese places, Dominican places, all kinds of great stuff. Where'd you go? I went to Arby's. What? On purpose?
The meats. I like their commercials.
I mean, I get it. The horsey sauce is interesting. So but again, another thing that got ruined when they started selling it in the stores.
Yeah.
Because I saw it on the shelf and I went, oh, Arby's horsey sauce. I like getting the creamed horseradish. I usually get like the boar's head. It's called pub sauce. It's the creamy horseradish that you would use for like roast beef or something like that, right? So I was like, oh, I like the Arby's. And you go and read the ingredients and you're like, holy crap, this is shit.
It's like pure sugar.
It's but it's also the worst oils to use in it. And you're just like, everything in this is terrible. Just like everything in the Olive Garden salad dressing you see in the stores is terrible. It's like, wow.
I gotta say, the good 1-to-1 is the Whataburger stuff that I send you. Like that is legitimately like from restaurant to shelf. And I've got 2 bottles of that I gotta send you.
I almost came to blows with somebody who was a fan of this show and a fan of another show that we're friendly with. Mm-hmm. And they had posted on their social media that they were watching a show and eating a fully tricked out Raising Cane's meal.
You really don't like Raising Cane's.
It sucks.
I'm going to go there after the show and I'm going to send you.
Say it's a joke, but every time I would pass the one that they opened up in Penn Station, I would boo it. There's video of me on my Instagram at Nagel where I walk past and I just go boo, and you see people that are sitting there because it's open air turn and look as I'm walking past, booing a restaurant because it's that terrible. Let me see what I wrote. If I'll pull it up and tell you what it was.
So we've been running late the past couple times. Do you know what I've gone to the last 2 weeks after each show?
Raising
Cane's. Because it's open the latest. Like, and I just don't want to.
Okay, so I see the styrofoam container with chicken tenders, their terrible fries, their terrible Texas toast, and their terrible sauce, and a giant beverage container, as one should have with any kind of meal like this. So posted thing, and I said, "You're a braver man than I." And the person wrote back, "It's safe. Truck stop sushi has the potential of being a problem." And I said, "It's not a matter of being safe. Cane's is just terribly bland food."
I gotta say though, yeah, you're right. I mean, the sauce is what sells it. Like without the sauce, I probably wouldn't eat as much as I do from there.
Their follow-up, their tenders are never dried out and the cane sauce has a lot of flavor. Add some hot sauce or jalapenos. Now, you've already contradicted yourself, because if you said the sauce has a lot of flavor, just add hot sauce or a lot of jalapenos, then the hot sauce doesn't have any flavor, because you're adding the flavor to essentially a paste. Didn't argue that point, but I was just sitting there. I was like, because he's a nice guy. I'm not, why am I going to go after him? I'll go after the restaurant. And I did that again. I have an update for you on another fast food chain that I actually got my comment reported on and had to file an appeal. But I'm not going to, I'll attack the restaurant in their post, but I'm not going to attack somebody that bought it because they spent their money and they like it. I was just saying, it's like, you're better than I, because I can't stand it. I said, the sauce isn't good. The coleslaw and Texas toast are bland. Their fries are terrible. I boo this place every time I walk past them in New York City.
Yeah, because I think the first time before they had it at Penn Station, you went to Dallas, and I think the location was closed, or was it the Whataburger that was closed? Because you went to a Raising Cane's at least on one of these trips.
The Whataburger was closed. Those photos were up on my Instagram too. It looked like a Dexter kill room, because the lights were on, everything was on, but there was just plastic tarp all over the insides.
Right. The
drive-through lights were on, and people were driving through wondering why they weren't hearing anybody. I was knocking on the door. I couldn't, nobody was there. I'm like, what the fuck happened? There's no signs. It didn't say closed for renovations. There was nothing. It's like a murder happened, everybody fled, and they just locked the doors on the way out.
Yeah. And then that's when you went to Raising Cane's and you're like, this is garbage.
Yeah, because Raising Cane's was
great.
Essentially across the street from it.
Right.
And I walked across the bridge from the highway, I walked over there to it, and I'm like, this is what everyone's raving about. This is garbage.
I wouldn't say I rave about it, but it's
not you. People online. I've seen many people talking about, because look, who doesn't like chicken tenders, right? Mm-hmm. But we were like, oh, Raising Cane's is the best. No, it's not. It's not at all. And when people say, like, people rave about McDonald's, like, oh, the McRib's coming back December 3rd, it's coming back, and they're like, oh, the McRib. It's like, you don't like the McRib. You think you do. You've bought into the hype and the fucking advertising that the McRib is something special. It's an event. It's garbage. It's been garbage for at least 20 years. It's been terrible. But I will remind you here that McDonald's is bringing back the McRib on December 3rd for a limited time. Why anyone is giving a shit about this, I don't know, but I had to put my opinions out there on the consumer on Instagram. You can go check it out. And I tagged McDonald's. I've had people accuse me. It's like, oh, and it's like, you don't post it on the company sites or tag them. And I go, click the photo. I tag them directly. This is why I'll never be a food influencer, or at least one that makes any money off of it, or one that will have any collaborations with these companies, because I tell you, I'm like, you're bullshitting people. And I get it. They got a product to push and sell. It doesn't mean you can't say that it's terrible and this is a complete waste of my money. But I put the thing up there that the McRib is terrible. And I was hoping people were getting E. coli from eating the giant onion pieces that are on said McRib that were found to be problematic throughout parts of the country.
I think they solved that problem.
Did they?
Barely.
They changed the name of it and just slapped a new freshness date sticker on it, put it right back out there. They hosed it down and threw it in another bag and then mailed it off again.
We watched it.
So, I forgot I have the photo here. So McDonald's is bringing back the McRib, but they're also doing another gimmick where you can buy the McRib sauce. and comes in what can only be described as the bottle that you would get windshield wiper fluid in.
Yep.
Right? I would say also maybe bleach, but you got to be careful when posting that stuff online because it could be considered harmful or terms of service.
Bleach is usually in like a white container. So
right, but it's the same shape and size, whatever. It's safe to say the blue windshield wiper fluid that you get.
Yeah.
Or if you're fancy and spend the extra $2, the orange one that's supposed to, also eliminate frost during the winter.
What's that like?
So, so the McRib's coming out December 3rd. So in addition, McDonald's will be dropping what they call a whole lot of McRib sauce. It's a half-gallon jug of tangy sandwich sauce. It's here's the problem, people. Everyone's been online of like, oh my God, I got to get this. And I'll give you the details if you want to go and get it. It's just their shitty barbecue sauce that you get in the little packets to dip your McNuggets in. That's all it is. It's not that good. I mean, it's okay considering McDonald's, but it's not that good. You can go to any supermarket and have a nice selection of sauces that are way better and far superior than this nonsense.
They're starting to put out new ones. Like I think Franklin's Barbecue now has their own brand inside my Safeway. I was like, oh shit, Franklin's is a pretty
I haven't
well
seen that
established
out here, but maybe pick up a bottle. I'd like to.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
So anyway, it's just their terrible barbecue sauce that they charge you 35 cents. It's like, hey, I ordered the 6-piece. It only comes with one dipping sauce. Can I just get 2? The kid would like 2. Well, 35 cents. Fuck off. But whatever. So customers can buy a whole lot of McRib sauce for $19.99 only online at, check this out, wholelotofmcribsauce.com starting November 25th at 10 a.m. Eastern while supplies last. How much you want to bet they probably made 10 bottles of this thing? It'll sell out, and then they'll go and put out a press release like look at all the hits, and the website was crashing, and look at the social media presence for this thing here. We sold out, and they won't tell you the exact numbers of what they actually sold. I'm guaranteeing that's what's going to happen here. My notes I'm reading here, it says also the slivered onions found on the McRib are the same ones the company recently announced it would be investing $100 million to get customers to return to the restaurants after an E. coli breakout. Linked to said slivered onions, which were also used in the quarter pounders, and it sickened at least 104 people last month.
Now, what made everyone sick?
Hold on. The roughly 900 locations that had been getting those onions from the source implicated in the outbreak are now receiving ingredients from a different supplier, according to McDonald's. It was the giant slivers of onions.
Right, but what was wrong with them?
They were contaminated and giving people E. coli.
What was that?
E. coli.
Oh, okay. Because Rob doesn't like the way you pronounce E. coli.
Whatever. Ecoli.
Sounds
There
like
you
you're
go.
saying eagle eye.
Eagle Eye Cherry saved tonight.
Right.
We're going to fight the break of dawn come tomorrow. The onions will be gone. McDonald's tried to make us all think that in November 2022 was the sandwich's big farewell tour for the McRib.
It's been that long.
Yeah, but of course it's not because it returned in 2023. It since ditched that ruse after lots of online complaints. The chain is now leaning into McRib Season is their new promotion for this. So the McRib will come back for a seasonal setting, which seems to be this time of year going forward. The McRib will come back for the holiday season.
Why Christmas? Like, I would think McRib would be a summer sandwich.
You're going into two of the biggest three, if you maybe, if you consider. I don't think Hanukkah does a big food thing. That's Passover. So yeah, okay. So two big, at least American holiday food-based holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, where you're not really thinking of fast food. Well, we're going to get that little sliver of people who are not really thinking about holidays. We're going to go for them. Why? When you could put it out there in the summer and seem like barbecue, McRib.
Yeah, it seems like a summer sandwich.
So, McRib Season, and it's spelt, as you can think, SZN.
So cool.
The holidays are now McRib SZN for McDonald's. And they're now teasing a holiday jingle called It Could Only Mean One Thing, parentheses, the McRib is here. Close.
I was going to say McRib SZN sounds like one of those new rappers out there with like face tattoos. He's just going to have like the McDonald's logo above his eyebrow.
Now it's going to happen just because you said that. And he'll be probably headlining the third stage at Coachella in 2026 because of this.
Side stage.
Soon, the holiday jingle will soon be available to play in full on all streaming platforms. Now, I have the ad, the teaser, if you will, for McRib season. If you would like to check this out,
I would love to hear this.
Let's take a look.
Lights are going up, snow is falling down. It could only mean one thing. McRib is here. People throwing parties, ugly sweaters everywhere. Stockings hung up by the chimney with care. It could only mean one thing.
Why?
McRib is here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
So is that the song that's going to be debuting?
Yeah, there's a full version, a full big band hit parade style version for this.
Seems very now, Michael Bublé Christmas album.
A couple of things wrong with all of this. One, it's obviously they're just doing Mac Tonight without Mac Tonight.
I missed that. Those ads.
Two, there weren't for the last several years they've been leaning hard into celebrity musician collaborations,
right?
Like Travis Scott,
the Saweetie meal.
Yeah, they did the Rick and Morty thing, but that was unintentional because Rick and Morty forced their hand with.
And that was years ago. Like this, we're like
that's where it's kind of was. That's kind of where it was starting from.
Yeah,
right. These collaboration things. Stop, collaborate, and listen to this terrible jingle. It's holiday ribs SZN.
That's the show title is Rib SZN.
Yes. Oh yeah. Here we go. Crack the whip in the chat there. Skibbity McRib SZN bussin' for real, no cap. Screen cap that, Jordan. That could be the. Let's see Amazon. Let's see Apple and iHeart deal with that. It's like, what the fuck is this doing with this show?
There's so much Riz in that sandwich.
Our pal,
the McRizz.
Walked around and he said the McRib is problematic because it's not Hanukkah friendly food.
Look, you're assuming that there's real pork in the McRib. That's your first problem.
Well, they had to disclaim, I guess, a few years ago, thanks to a lawsuit, that it wasn't actually pork rib. It was pork that was ground up and consolidated into a riblet form.
So, yeah. Well, they shape it into what makes it look like a rib.
Yeah. So you can find those disclaimers on their website. It's there.
We had to disclose it.
I went and looked. So the jingle's coming out, that terrible ad. Their past celebrity collaborations were with like pop stars and rap stars and stuff. That was the angle they were going for, the more urban crowd. And then you're bringing.
I think they did a K-pop band too, but yeah, it was.
But you're bringing. You're going to now. It's like, oh, let's bring back old school, white people music, because apparently the white people aren't going to buying Happy Meals and stuff at McDonald's anymore. So it's like
McRib is Bublé season.
Yes, we need to get that back in a big way. So enjoy your McDonald's McRib while you're drinking from your half-gallon McRib whole lot of sauce for rib SZN. I'm writing that down so we don't forget.
I took a picture.
What else do we have here? I didn't expect to jump into this stuff, but this is where.
Well, I mean, we're going into the holidays. We should probably let everybody know what we have kind of planned next week.
Well, I was going to do one more food thing, and then we'll do that.
Do your food thing.
Do the food thing. So, oh wait, our pal Twisted is in the chat here. She is saying, "Let me explain the pork idea. I'm allergic to pork, and I can assure you, it is some kind of pork, 100%. I don't know. Was it in the
Because
same
based
room
off
with
the
pork?
allergic reaction, I know it's at least partly pork.
Was it in the same room as pork? Like, people with a peanut allergy. Like if there's pork around, I'm going to get bloated and need an EpiPen.
Yeah, it was processed in a plant that also does pork.
It was it next to pork? Does it identify as pork? Does it manifest its pork nature? Like, we don't know what this thing is doing.
It's the LaCroix of pork-based sandwiches. It kind of has the essence of pork.
They're constantly just bashing it with mallets so that it doesn't run away on its own power and submit it into their steak-sized bun and then drown it to death with the
my hoagie bun
wiper fluid. Speaking of other fine burger chains, and actually this one is a fine burger chain, Shake Shack has made an unprecedented deal.
Oh, that's right.
Delta Airlines.
All happy about it.
So now you are able to get Shake Shack burgers served to you on Delta Airlines flights. Now,
well, if you're going to fly mediocre, you might as well eat mediocre.
Delta's first-of-a-kind partnership with Shake Shack will begin with flights coming out of Boston on December 1st. So if you're only leaving out of Boston, that's the only place you can get Shake Shack on the plane right now. With plans for expansion to other U.S. markets throughout 2025. Customers sitting in first, of course, it's a first-class thing. Why would they have it available for everybody else in there? Customers sitting in first class on routes over 900 miles. This is that same shit where it's like, well, if you're flying from New York to DC, you only get a soda and a snack. But if you're flying to LA, you get essentially
a full meal.
Or you get something to that effect. First class flight. If you're sitting in first class on routes over 900 miles, will be able to pre-select a Shake Shack cheeseburger as their meal option. Now, if you're not familiar with Delta, pre-select means you order your food ahead of time through their app.
Right.
It's not there as an option. It's like, hey, they got Shake Shack burgers. I'll take a Shake Shack burger. You have to order, and you can order at least 7 days before your flight. If you don't do it on the app, you don't get the Shake Shack meal. So you have to use.
Could you imagine you didn't know that, and you're sitting there and you're watching everybody eat Shake Shack, and they're throwing your mixed nuts at you?
Yeah,
or like not even like mixed nuts anymore. It's like a Chex Mix,
and you're eating some really god awful concoction of what they call a chicken Caesar salad wrap, and it's orange, and you're like, this should not be. And then
it's the chicken really Caesar hard. Orange chicken wrap,
right? So you have to use the Fly Delta app or a link that will be sent to you in the email for your flight starting 7 days before your departure. So you have to not only think about is your flight going to be on time, cancellations, do I have the rental car, do I have my hotel reservations, did I pack everything, did I forget something? Shit, we forgot to order Shake Shack for our flight.
Could you imagine having to plan your meal for a plane over a week and a half in advance?
Only if you're one of those people, either if you're vegan, which that's your hell to live, kosher, or allergies. Like those are the only three where you have. That's on you, not the airline. That's on you to have the cognizance to prepare for that event by doing what you need to do to take care of yourself. To get a fucking cheeseburger, I can't even order it online if you're sitting in like 6A, because rows 1 through 5 are in first class. They're getting all the cheeseburgers, and now you're stuck with, they don't even give you peanuts anymore. They give you that butter cookie that everyone loves. I think.
Oh, the Biscoff cookies.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of those. That or
what do you like, Eric? Because those are fantastic.
I don't know. I'm a United member, so. You have to order your everything on the app while you're on the flight because it's all cashless and cardless. You order your drinks. They order the box of snacks or your boxed food, whatever, and that's what they bring to you. Bron Stunna in the chat saying Biscoff with coffee rules. That's the only time I've seen people eating those cookies is when they're having coffee, and that makes sense. It's like if you saw somebody sitting there and they're eating a Stella Dora breakfast treat and you go, really? That S-shaped cookie that's just stale bread that they threw some kind of cinnamon on it? And you're like, oh, I'm European. I'm fancy. No, you're just a shithead that fell for clever marketing because they had all this stuff that they didn't want to throw out. They repackaged it and sell it to you. So the Biscoff cookies, I've never seen people just like have it in their house where they're sitting around eating the cookies like they would an Oreo or Tate's Bakery or something like that.
Right.
I've only seen Biscoffs at like coffee houses when they have and they're dipping it into their coffee. That makes sense. Other than that, I have no interest in being a part of that. All right. Let's move on. Well, we have a bunch of news stuff to get to. Jordan, do you want to talk about the 5 stories that we will not be talking about today?
Well, this week, the CMAs were on. Don't care. Not going to talk about it. I can care less who the winners or the losers were. I think award shows
What does CMA stand for?
The Country Music Awards. I don't even know where it's played anymore. I think it might be a Disney property.
I was going to say Nashville, but I could be wrong.
It's just full of hot chicken now at this point because none of country music sounds like country music anymore. It's all pop music. This should have just been on, MTV.
Right.
So that happened this week. Not going to really talk about that. President-elect Trump nominated Matt Gaetz, former, what was he, senator? Former senator?
No, representative.
Representative. So he's out of the.
I thought you called them congressmen, but apparently you addressed them as representative.
Whatever. I'm not going to address any one of them. He was nominated for attorney general this past week. A lot of people were up in arms.
Right.
I don't care. Don't like it. Oh, he withdrew. And it's because there was a lot of sexual misconduct allegations coming out, a lot of Venmo receipts, a lot of things going on. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Speaking of some big changes, Disney changed the Marvel banner. Have you seen this on your Disney Plus app?
I have not, but I made aware of it like a couple hours before the show.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to say Tatiana Ali, but that was the younger sister on Fresh Prince.
Masalani. Well, no, Tatiana Maslany.
The one who plays
in Orphan Black
and She-Hulk.
Right. So the Marvel banner that pops up used to have She-Hulk on there, and they have replaced her completely with Deadpool. Who cares? Like, really, who cares?
Apparently, Tatiana Ali cares.
Everyone does.
Whatever her name is. Yeah.
Yeah. The daughter from Fresh Prince is very up in arms about her exclusion from the banner.
In the Marvel universe, no. Why is she so outspoken on this? I don't know.
And then, did you know Ellen DeGeneres just left the country due to Trump's election win? I
applaud her for doing this. Now, what I don't know, we'll talk about this. I don't know is that was she publicly outspoken as one of the celebrities saying that I will leave if Trump is elected?
I don't remember her being fully outspoken on it. I don't
remember her being being quoted anywhere on that.
No, but what I do know is that she was very heavy in the P. Diddy camp. And now that he's in trouble, it seems very, very suspicious that she's leaving the country. So,
all right. Well, I didn't know that, but I was going to say good for her for taking the initiative. If she was one of those people that said, I'm going to leave if Trump is elected. Again, I was not aware if she said anything publicly. I've never seen her grouped in with other celebrities that were well known saying that they wanted to leave, but she took the initiative to do so and put her, I can't say she put her money where her mouth is because that's where, what's her name is?
Portia de Rossi.
Yes, that's where Portia de Rossi is. So
it doesn't matter. We're not talking about it.
They got up and moved. Good for them. I had no idea about the Diddy tie-in.
Oh yeah, she was big into Diddy. She'd always have him on the show. She would always tweet out on his birthday. Yeah, she was big with P. Diddy. I'm not defending Diddy at all. Diddy, Puff Daddy. I mean, Puff Daddy. Call him Diddy like his God-given name.
Pity Diddy. Sean Combs. I'm not defending Sean Combs in whatsoever, but it is a little overreaching when any celebrity was at any of his parties, because he's been throwing those white parties since like the 90s, right?
Yeah, that's been one of his things.
Any celebrity that was at his party, I think is not really fair to say, oh, they're in on everything he was doing, because celebrities go to celebrity parties, right? The Epstein thing's a little different because you're purposely going to a remote island on his private plane to do that. Diddy had those parties on the east end of Long Island, down in Florida, down in, I forgot if Rob is still in the chat, that area of California that he lived in. So he had these parties. They were well-known parties. So I'm not defending any celebrities that went there either. I'm just saying it's a little bit of a wide net you're casting, saying any celebrity that was ever at a Puff Daddy event was
part of his
part of this thing here.
I forget, like he had a name for
narrow it down a little bit more, so it seems probable. But
hold on.
What?
Los Angeles? You couldn't pull Los Angeles?
There's many parts of Los Angeles, as Rob knows. Look, Rob represents most of them, so I understand that he's going to play coy on this. Yeah, I just think it's a little weird. It's like, oh, this one was at a party too. Like, because look, I'm not a big LeBron James fan, but I've been seeing that online too.
Right.
LeBron just announced that he's taking a break from social media.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday.
And everybody that's into basketball or Barstool or ESPN Sports Talk online, all saying like, oh, this seems like a coincidence. But I'm like, I don't know anything about those parties. Was LeBron close with Sean Combs? Was he like
Sean Combs had
him, or did he just go to the parties like every other celebrity went?
I'm sure everybody did. I mean, Sean Combs was a huge, he was into everything. So, I mean, if you're famous, you probably ran across him at some point.
Right. Twisted saying, I also agree. And Diddy was the first one to have these white parties. Well, they used to have white parties.
Oh, but when I do it, I'm too into the South.
Well, your white parties include some kind of, hood with eyes cut out of it. And that's
my lowercase t.
Isn't that an old Norton joke or something? Yeah. That's an old Jim Norton joke. A whole bunch of lowercase t's everywhere. Yeah, I don't know. Not enough for me to care, but good. Ellen wants to leave. Good. And I think I saw something on TMZ that said she said she's never coming back. So she's never going to work.
Still here.
She's never going to work. Obviously not, because her staff hated her, and there was plenty of other stories to make Ellen difficult to deal with, and nobody wanted to work with her anymore. So look, she was making like 8 figures a year doing that show. She has nothing to worry about. Although you can't do a lot of your, not that I'm saying that she does, but people who act a fool and say things on social media in this country, people actually get arrested in England for a fraction of the stuff that they're putting out on social media here. So you can't go out there and start spewing hate and nonsense and everything, because you can get arrested. You can get investigated.
I love that at one point we were talking and you said like stuff like no cap, and now you said act a fool. We're really just running the gamut on just popular phrases for things, aren't we?
It's fantastic language to use. Twisted saying arrested. Yes, you can make what even can be considered idle threats, and you can be arrested and charged for intention. I forgot what their laws are, but it's like in the vicinity of intention to harm, stalking, any of those kind of things. They take it way more seriously over there.
And if you do it in Australia, you get the boot.
I know. And then they tie you down and unleash the Chazwaddlers all over your naked body. All right, moving on. Coachella made their announcement for 2025. Did you see this?
Is Coachella still that unpopular anymore? Like, it feels like it's declined.
I don't know. A lot of people showed up for when Trump held his own Coachella at Coachella a couple months ago. And oddly enough, the same kind of transport issues that they have when the actual festival's going on. There was water supply shortages. There was transportation shortages. People were stranded. Nothing different than when you would hear at Coachella and these other obnoxiously large festivals that are happening around the world. Here is the lineup for Coachella 2025. The way they word this is a little confusing. It took me at least a moment to realize what they were doing here. Because they'll say like, oh, Friday, you have this date here. And then it says Friday, April 11th and 18th. Saturday,
they split the weekends.
The 19th. And you're like, this is an odd way to put all of this stuff. You could just say, hey, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for these 2 weeks, this is the lineup. Easier ways to put it. But looking at some of the names here, Lady Gaga is headlining one of the nights. I don't know who's headlining Green Day is on Saturday, Post Malone on Sunday, and then various artists that we all know, love, or a lot of it starts to fade into Warped Tour territory where they have regional bands just filling up the ticket so they can justify the prices for the ticket.
Yeah, the smaller your name is, the worse it's going to be.
Yeah, so
like they buried Jimmy Eat World in the Saturday show. Like it's just buried right in the middle.
Yeah.
They're a bigger band than that.
And I thought, up until now, I thought it said Venga Boys. It's Viagra Boys.
I know. I thought it was Venga Boys, too. I'm like, I might go to Saturday.
Here's what happened. The other day I see this. I swear to God, I thought it said Venga Boys. I started going onto YouTube and watching Venga Boys performances.
This is why.
And I just watched a whole bunch of live concert performances of Boom, 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 Boom. I Want You in My Room. It was a great time. The 90s were fantastic.
It was really good.
So yeah, like Missy Elliott's on there. The Prodigy is making a return,
which is weird because one of the singers is dead.
Right.
So I mean,
they got it all on track. They got it all on a track. They could just play it behind them, sweeten it, as they call it in the industry. There's some names that are misleading on here because when I saw Mustard, I thought Mustard Plug was on there, and that wasn't it. It's just a band called Mustard. And then there's an artist called Glorilla, who I thought it said Gorillas at first, and I said, "Oh, that's they because they were headlining. What was it, last year? They did a main stage, or 2 years ago?" And I said, "Wow,
no, wasn't it Blur? His other band, Blur.
They did both.
They got like booed off stage. Like no one wanted to see them. Like the crowd was no selling.
I couldn't keep up with the music and everything. It was just a mess." Who else is on this lineup? 3-6 Mafia. Didn't they win an Oscar?
Wasn't it for? God, was that one where Terrence, what's his face, was like a pimp and he started doing music? Wasn't that I think that was the movie.
Yeah, God, they're on there. I mean, but they're of note. You know, they're no slouch. Who else is on here? Charlie XCX. She fresh off her disgrace of a brat summer.
Oh my God. And one of the lowest rated Saturday Night Lives that just aired this past weekend.
Right.
Not many people tuned into it. Like,
wait, was it her or was it the other one that does Hot to Go?
No, this Chappell Roan was the musical guest like 2 weeks ago, and that was popular.
Yeah.
Or 3 weeks ago, something like that. Charlie XCX was the host / musical guest, and it was one of the lowest rated Saturday Night Lives in years. Like no one watched, no one cared.
All right. Well, they're going to be there. The Original Misfits.
Interesting.
So Glenn Danzig's going to be with them?
I don't think he's going to be showing up. And if he does, that would be interesting.
I don't know. That might be pretty awesome. He just comes out there, all he sings is Mother, and like, we have other songs. Mother. It's like, all right, this was poorly thought out.
I think he's calling out for
He's there for the payday. Who else is on here? T-Pain is performing. I don't know who this band is, but I'm interested to see Japanese Breakfast. Now I think they're just making shit up to fill space.
You know what the funny thing is? I actually have heard of Japanese Breakfast because I was listening to a Conan O'Brien podcast, and I guess one of his kids got him into it. And like, he actually listens to Japanese Breakfast.
Yo Gabba Gabba.
Oh, I'm all in.
Is on there. That is curious. Because if you don't know, Yo Gabba Gabba was a very famous children's show with DJ Lance, who was like the main human in that there. And DJ Lance was from what band, Jordan?
Oh God, I wouldn't know off the top of my head.
Rob is screaming at you right now. The Aquabats.
Oh God, that's right. I forgot.
So if it's under the guise of Yo Gabba Gabba and then it's a surprise Aquabat show,
that would be kind of cool.
At Coachella.
Could you imagine if they get the Aquabats, but they also bring in Travis Barker to reunite with the Aquabats? Because wasn't he part of the Aquabats like early on before Blink-182?
If he was, I wasn't aware of that, but that's a nice footnote. Let's see who else is performing here of note. Megan Thee Stallion.
Ooh, 2 E's because she's important.
This name I used to know because SiriusXM used to play this artist all the time, but I can't name one song. Zed.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've never heard.
Kraftwerk.
I do love Kraftwerk.
I haven't heard of them since like the late 90s.
There's a guy I work with, and him and I share a lot of like vinyl picks and things like that. And for like a good week, about 3 weeks ago, he was talking about Kraftwerk a lot, and he got me back into listening a little bit, and then it got me into listening to like Daft Punk again. So yeah, I would see Kraftwerk. That would be cool.
Hold on, Rob's yelling. Stop ignoring that the Go-Go's are also going to perform. That's fantastic. I would love to see that live performance. Kesha. Oh, it's not Kesha. It's Keshi. See, this is what happened. There's too many bands.
Getting the dollar store version of all these bands. It's like,
Yeah.
that's not Kesha. That's not the Venga Boys.
Oh, Basement Jacks. I know
Basement
them.
Jacks is good.
Let's see. I don't know most of these other bands here. Oh, this one I saw something with The Rock the other day. He was doing some kind of party for GQ. Shabuzi.
I've
Is a
heard of,
rapper?
yeah, my daughter turned me on to Shabuzi. There was like a bar song that he sings that she was singing in the store. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah.
You sing it like Shaboopy? Shabuzi. The girl, da 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 da. The Circle Jerks are on there.
I do like the Circle Jerks.
Haven't heard them in a long, long time. What was the song they did with Debbie Gibson?
Oof. See, I suck at song titles and then just pulling up that kind of stuff.
I found it. I Want to Destroy You. That actually got some moderate play on alternative stations.
It does feel weird that they put the Circle Jerks in the Post Malone Sunday set when it would make more sense to stick them in with the Green Day set. You know what I mean?
They're
Like, it just
spreading it
feels
out.
weird.
They're spreading it out.
Like, there's no cohesion.
Here's a band called Snow Strippers right next to a band called Fuckers, but spelled differently. So they've got that going on. I don't really see anybody else that I'm aware of or
Again, yeah, as soon as
noteworthy.
it starts going smaller in writing, you just start not caring.
Well, that is a lot of people. That's a lot of
I gotta say,
talent
I
there.
don't care.
The tickets are probably $1,000.
At least.
And again, I'll watch it on YouTube. I will never go to something like this. I think it's a complete waste of money. And then it's at the bottom. It says Travis Scott designs the desert. So is he setting the layout for the stage in the whole campground area for?
Isn't he the
Coachella?
one that had a big concert, like some kind of thing, and then some people got like killed because they were they were trampling in and something like that? Like, it just feels weird that maybe he needs to not be involved in these big kind of things.
Yes.
What
The
hell, man?
Astro World Festival.
Right. Like, I guess they didn't regulate how people were getting in, and people were just rushing the entrance and getting in, and then it was over capacity.
People were trampled to death and died of
asphyxiation.
asphyxiation.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad he's wanting to be a part of a large group of things again. Kind of seems ridiculous.
Go out and get your tickets before they sell out.
I won't. I already spent enough money to go see other bands next year.
Do they what's the biggest city that's near you right now?
Phoenix would be the big one. I mean, I can go to LA for a big show.
Do they decorate Phoenix for the holidays like some cities do? Like
Yeah,
New York?
some cities go all out. Like there's a city right next, like the city of Glendale, who have the football stadium. They have this long stretch of road. They do this thing called Glendale Glitters, so it's like a big.
Is that
old
where the
festival.
college was from Community?
That would be funny. No, that was in Colorado.
Wow.
That was Greendale.
Oh, it was Glendale.
No,
What do I
and then
know?
some of Phoenix does it. I mean, some of the outlying cities have their own little things. Tempe gets pretty lit up, so yeah, they do Christmas pretty well down here.
All right, so they do lights. Do they wrap up buildings and have animatronics and things like that?
I don't think they do something at that scale. I know they have they have these things that have been popping up a lot lately, where you, instead of going to, like, you know how like you used to go around neighborhoods to see people's light setups, and maybe some neighborhoods get real like crazy about it and have tons of stuff. They have these things now. They set them up where it's this company that does all these crazy lights and stuff like that, but you don't get out of your car. You drive through it, and you pay all this money to get your family to go into a car and drive through this course with a bunch of Christmas lights. And I'm like, that just kind of seems dumb.
It is. A lot of places do that when they don't have much going on there, but it's to get you in the holiday spirit. And you're driving through like the back parking lot of a school, and it's just
I think this one was set up at the Angel Stadium, like spring training grounds or something.
People's like those tinsel ornament things they hang outside that looks like this looks like Abominable from the Rudolph story and all that stuff, and it's like, it's $25, and you drove through in 1 minute, and like, that's fantastic.
Like you have to turn your station to like an old AM station to get some kind of Christmas music going.
Well, in New York City, certain places go all out, especially if you're in the Midtown area near the Rockefeller Center area, Fifth Avenue, the big money areas. Rockefeller Center, famously known for the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree, their ice skating rink, and they've got now because of LED stuff, they've got snowflakes that hang over parts of the street that are constantly sparkling. Down 57th Avenue, sorry, that you have giant oversized snowflakes that hang like every other block on that street. Fifth Avenue is the big sales and garment area. Trump's building is over there right next to Tiffany's, across from Louis Vuitton. A little bit further, Saks Fifth Ave. Saks Fifth Ave is another one that it was people look forward to each year. Their big unveiling for decorating the entire building, and it's all coordinated with music, and you get to see that whole stage show. Well, they're not doing that this year because of the new direction they're going with their window displays. So people have been rather upset with that. There's other parts of Fifth Avenue that are not doing that as well because buildings are being remodeled. And as they're being remodeled, they're going above and beyond just having scaffolding and like, the press board kind of things up there to block the construction. They've gone so far as to decorate an entire building head to toe that is made it look fancy or ridiculous, depending how you look at it, in order to hide the construction. And I'm talking about the Louis Vuitton building.
Oof.
That is on East 57th and 5th Avenue. The entire building, top to bottom, is getting redone. And it's such a big deal. They went and rented around a block away or so, a different space, and set up shop there to close their entire building down. So this is going to take a while. They put up a giant facade around the entire building. I kid you not. Look at this.
I mean, I want to hate that. That's kind of neat.
This was a photo a friend of mine posted, and I wrote to her, I go, that's not real, right? She goes, no, it's real.
Like AI.
So had to go in, and I went down there, and lo and behold, it was. This is the entire building.
Interesting.
The outside of the entire building is all luggage casing from Louis Vuitton. Look at this.
That is so weird.
The detail is insane.
It's hard to tell that if it's just like an optical illusion to make it look like there's depth to this, because it looks like there's a real handle, looks like there's giant buckles. That can't possibly be how that.
No,
really
it's there.
is.
It's there.
Like all the buckles, they're separate. It's not just flat.
It's all
and it's
out
just,
there.
Oh, that's actually really impressive.
Look at this one here. This is where they moved to. So they moved over to the corner of 6th and East 57th. And it's a 5-story retail building. They're renting this building for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
As Louis Vuitton is remodeling their building as part of a multi-year renovation. So this is where they are now. They're about a block away off 57th. But this is what they did.
That's really interesting.
I've never seen anything like this before.
I've seen like especially when you go to like a theme park and they're
at least to this scale.
Something.
Yeah.
Right. But they'll wrap it in like that see-through mesh, but then they'll have designs on the outside to make it feel like, got something. This is way different than that, though, and that is kind of insane. Like, I want to know how they did that.
Yeah. Well, this was the big reveal the other day. I was like, Jesus Christ. Because it looked like if this was real, I'm thinking this is just giant like boards and this is painted on or something, like a graphic printout.
Right.
And you walk over there and lo and behold, no, it's all there. Now, I can't zoom in through this.
It lights up. I found another picture of this.
In the lower left-hand corner, you can see the part of the glass cube. That's the Apple Store.
Oh, I see. Damn, that building is huge.
Right? Well, it's New York. A lot of the
I understand, but like compared, like when you, but now it's luggage. Showing the fucking building is huge. Oh man, that is insane.
Yeah, the marvels of modern architecture.
Well, good for
Great to walk over and see something like that. It's like, it's not Christmassy. Who cares? It's a giant piece of luggage.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. That is really cool.
All right. What else do I want to talk about before? No, we don't need to do the wildflowers, the wildfires thing. So there might be a shortage in Christmas trees around this area this year because of all the wildfires. Mm-hmm. And some of these areas that are going up are actually areas that are designated farms for Christmas trees. And because of the drought, the area is not affected by the fires. The trees have been drying out and they're all brittle. They can't sell them. So they're actually trying to figure out if they're going to import Christmas trees into the northeast area for this Christmas season. So I like the smell of a real tree, but buy a fucking candle. Get a plastic tree. The environment. You're doing more damage killing the real tree to put in your house than you are buying the plastic tree.
I was going to say mine's fake.
And I've had a fake tree for many years. And it's got the LED lights woven in through it, so I don't have to decorate it, and I can program it to do whatever I want. It looks fantastic. Yep. And I buy those little things at Home Depot that hook on the inside of the branches.
Smell like pine.
Smells like pine tree.
Yeah, it comes in like a pack of like 6, and you just hide them in there.
Yeah,
it looks like
so that like tubes. The cats or the dog or the kid or whatever doesn't touch it. It's hidden in there, and you walk in and the house smells fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Little tip
fake tree all the way.
Do that. We are having. Let's blow through some of the videos that we got here. We do have Thanksgiving coming up.
We do,
and I came across here. It's like what Thanksgiving is like in the. I could say the tri-state area, but this one is specifically for the area of New Jersey.
Get the fuck out of here!
So what this is, in this area, there are you're prone to a lot of wild turkeys walking around.
I remember you telling me this a couple years back.
Staten Island has, I don't know why Staten Island has a ton of them, but they're constantly swarmed with turkeys through certain parts of that island. New Jersey, upstate New York, Connecticut have these around here too. So what this is, it's a busy street, a two-way double yellow line street. Looks like it's in front of I don't know if it's like a hospital. It says St. Paul's, right? So it could be a hospital or something.
Yeah.
This turkey's just walking across the street while there's oncoming traffic, and there's a guy in some kind of contractor van just yelling, "Get the fuck out of here!
Get the fuck out of here!"
Let's watch it again.
Get the fuck out of here!
He's just yelling at a turkey like that's gonna do anything.
So good though.
It is so
like
good.
that is the stereotypical like Italian guy. It's like it's not the guy making the sandwiches. That's the kind of Italian guy I like. You just walk about just yelling at a turkey.
Right.
It's pretty good.
But I paired it with because I found that video. Then it was a video about what driving through the state of New Jersey is like. So let's take a look at that.
Fucking hard. Fucking hard. Fuck you, you sucker.
That could be anywhere.
Yeah. fucking one-way. It's a one-way. What are you doing? It's a one-way.
He's on a highway.
Fucking
So for those on the radio end, it's the same guy with his dashboard cam, and the first one is just somebody runs out into the crosswalk with oncoming traffic when you're not supposed to. So he's hitting the horn. Second one is just cars not paying attention as they're trying to come out of a parking lot or a parking space into the road and almost getting hit. He swerves around. It's just a series of these videos where he hits the horn and he's calling them retards or whatever else. I don't know why. Maybe he beeped it just so it'll go on social media, but I would like to see the uncensored footage and I would like to see more of it. So I'll look around to see if this guy posts more videos of what it's like to drive through the state of New Jersey. I mean, it's no yelling at a turkey, but
get the fuck out of here.
it's close enough.
It's pretty good.
Close enough. Before we go to break, I want to share a clip with you of our pals Garrett and Steve. They do their own show called The Garrett and Steve Show. You can find them on YouTube, Patreon, and wherever else you get your... I don't know if they stream as a podcast. I know they do video streams, but they had a discussion not too long ago about one of my favorite subjects, sandwiches.
I do love sandwiches.
So they were having the age-old debate: is a 6-foot party hero good or not?
Yes.
It
There's
is.
no debate.
No, there's no debate.
Like,
Well,
why are we
apparently there
debating
is,
it?
because this clip wouldn't exist if there wasn't a debate.
Ugh.
I have been, and if Giddles was here, he could tell you, I've been a big proponent and advocator for 6-foot party heroes since my youth. Like, this is something that means a lot to me. And unfortunately, we're in the times now where they don't really, or most places don't do the 6-foot party hero anymore.
No.
They do the plates of sandwich pieces, or they do 3-foot heroes that they give you.
Oh, wait, hold on.
There he is.
There he is.
It was like the bat signal went out. Giddles, did someone say 6-foot party hero? Giddles can tell you.
Right. And then Rob's right.
Yeah.
Rob is completely right. Debating that topic is irresponsible and reckless. Correct.
I agree. I agree. But when do you find programming outside of us that brings up the 6-foot party hero?
No one.
Very rare, if not at all. But they did. We're going to eavesdrop on their show here a little bit and get your thoughts on the discussion being had about 6-foot party here. Oh, wait, Giddles is saying it's the best sandwich, 3 feet of American, 3 feet of Italian. It's the best. And when it's all cut up, you can just, you flip it like you're shuffling a pack of cards.
Like an old Dagwood.
Yeah. Just crazy. You're dipping it in to giant containers of olive oil and vinegar, mayo, spicy mustard, whatever you want.
Oh, no, I want it.
It's truly American.
I want a sandwich.
We all do. Here it is.
Your opinion on the 6-foot hero? Like, are you a fan of it or
huge fan?
That's a huge fan. Yeah. Well, first of all, you have to.
So, for those who don't know, Steve is on the left, Garrett is on the right. Garrett is the one questioning, does anybody really like the 6-foot party hero? What were you going to say?
No, I just immediately his like, what do you like about it? And he's like, yeah. And then he's just like, duh. And that right there, you've lost me. Like I'm no.
Right. Our pal Girk is in the chat and he's saying 6-foot party hero is a sloop that's not pulling its weight in Sea of Thieves. Look, I understand. I
need to get back into it.
I pop in and out. It is community weekend coming up, so I will be out there.
We'll have to
contributing to the guild. I promise.
6-foot party hero.
All right, continuing
Good ship never gets repaired.
Slice it up, right? So you get.
Oh, that bothers you too, right? That I never repair the ship.
You never repair. Like it is the most dilapidated ship in the high seas, and I'm just like, you know what? You'll buy $30 worth of outfits.
To repair
you
it.
won't spend $5 to fix your ship.
It's like, you complain. I go, do you know how long it took me to make $38 million? Yeah, but it costs $4,000 to fix this. It's like, yeah, I can just deal without it. I have boards. I can throw the planks up. I'll be good to go. And you just think it's an eyesore because you worry about social status.
I do.
When I don't,
My 6-foot party hero is supposed to look good.
I worry about looting and pillaging on the high seas.
Some of your own teammates.
Get these little like finger food pieces of hero. Yes, they're good. But I would rather have 6 1-foot heroes, and everyone gets a hero instead of.
Okay, I will say, as far as an objective point of view for this, that is a good argument.
Sure, not everybody wants the 3-foot American or the 3-foot Italian. Those people aren't invited to the 6-foot party hero party.
That is also correct. But I'm saying, look, if you go to a place and like, hey, look, we have 6 1-foot heroes that you can pick from. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to turn it down. I will not poo-poo that. But I'll say, you could have got a 6-foot party hero.
Correct.
Well, this place didn't do it. Okay. Well, at least it wasn't the big circular dishes of sandwiches that are usually a disappointment.
Yeah, that's true.
Me getting a slice of a hero and eating it like that.
But it's a 6-foot sandwich. Just the visual appeal alone, it makes you want to eat more. Yeah. This is always what I'm looking for.
It never runs out. Just keep eating.
This is never-ending sandwich. No, but yeah, it's bite-sized chunks, so you don't have to eat a whole hero. You could actually have, believe it or not, you can have less because you can eat as many chunks as you want and then go, I think I'm done. That's it. Cutting it off here.
But it's like always like precariously stacked and you have to hold it right and it could fall apart easily. Like a hero needs the whole bread casing to hold it in.
No, but if it's done right, it's perfectly... The bread's got to be good. As long as the bread's good, the 6-foot sub is an amazing choice.
Yeah, that is also very important because sometimes you can get really shitty sesame bread that they use for it, and you're like, oh, the bread is killing the sandwich here because it's too solid. Like you can't smush the bread down to eat it.
Yeah,
now
you gotta have this. You got to be able to grip it pretty good to get your bite.
Because now you're turning it sideways, so now it's just bread, meat, bread innards, and bread right here, and you're eating it sideways. Like I'm supposed to eat it this way, not this way, but you do what you can. The bread is very important.
And my favorite part is when someone orders one of these things. Usually half of it, if that, is gone, and the other half is for people to take.
Oh,
road
so
sandwich.
Now I got subs for
the what?
It's the road sandwich.
Yes.
Yeah, take a little bit.
But you also now have.
You ever leave a place and they had the party hero and they give you like a little Ziploc bag, like the quart bag that has a couple of sandwiches in there. And you're like, oh, great. I'll have this for lunch tomorrow.
See,
what happens?
I'm the ghetto version of that, where I just take the wrapping that came with the 6-foot party hero and I just like take
the colorful cellophane?
And just wrap it in the cellophane and take it with me.
The key point to that is to keep the toothpicks involved in the sandwich so it stays together till you get home. But my point was that you have it in the bag, you have it in the car seat next to you or behind you, and you're like, oh, this will be good. I can have it for lunch tomorrow. Sometimes you're like, well, fuck it. I've only been in the car 2 minutes and it looks like we're in traffic. You lean back and you start opening up the bag and eating it. Or if you don't, you get it home, you get changed, you start relaxing like, oh, yeah, it's late. We're going to go to bed. You sit down, you're watching TV for a little bit and you go, I have those sandwiches. I don't have to cook. And then you just go in there, you open up a jar of Hellman, some mustard, and it's fantastic. Giddles is right. No semolina bread. It's too dense. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you got to get a nice soft bread with that.
6 feet of one sub.
I hope I like it.
We could get 6 separate foot-long subs and switch it up. Yeah. I'm not complaining about it. It's more just a spectacle.
Sounds like you're complaining about the spectacle sandwich. Yes.
Yeah. That's like putting the gold flake in a martini and it's $100 martini, those stupid things, or the $1,000 burger and because they put like a diamond on the bun.
That's completely the opposite. Those are just
I was going to say that's not even the same argument.
Yeah.
It's just not. Like, I know he's trying to make a comparison there, but that's just really no.
Yeah, it's not the same as putting some kind of gimmick into it to jack up the price.
Right.
This is just presenting you a larger than life way of looking and consuming a sandwich and going, where has this been all my life, and why can I not have more?
Yeah,
Look,
you open it up,
so,
you get rid of the lettuce. Why is this shit on here? And then you eat the rest of the sandwich.
it was so popular at one point, it made it into the Simpsons episode and made Homer deathly ill.
Oh, forbidden sandwich. Oh no, that's the forbidden donut. Yeah, no, the sandwich was gross.
I'd like to be alone for the sandwich. I'd like to be alone with the sandwich for a moment, Marge. Are you going to eat it?
It's all purple.
Yes. He just smacks it out of his hand into the garbage can. See? Party heroes rule.
This is quantity. We're describing as quality. I'm not interested in quality. I'm interested in quantity. Imagine, Garrett, when you walked in, I was holding a 6-foot sub like it was my baby. Mm-hmm. And you walk in and I go, shh, it's sleeping. And I'm just rocking this up. Wouldn't you be like, I can't wait till he puts it down so I can... Just the on site, you want to just start digging into it.
Correct. I keep thinking I just want 6 1-foot heroes. You know, like I don't need it all. I don't know how to explain.
Look, all right. We got to change his way of thinking. But in certain scenarios, he's not wrong, because if you came home and there's just, you know how they're wrapped in the white sandwich or butcher paper, right? If you came home and stacked nicely or even laid out 6 1-foot heroes, you'd be like, this is fantastic.
Sure.
And then you're like, I wonder what they are. And then you start to wonder, holy fuck, am I going to be able to eat all 6 of these before the weekend's over? Are they going to go bad or have to throw it out? Now you're getting upset before you've even eaten them because, like, I'm wasting a sandwich here. I'm not going to be able to finish all of this.
Now, see, what he's talking about is having the variety. Now, if I'm getting people together to have a 6-foot party hero, they're going to like what I get. And that's it. I'm not going to cater my food choices to everyone's individual order. If you're going into a sandwich place, obviously you're not going to buy yourself a 6-foot party hero. You're going to get your little 1-foot, sub, and then you're going to have your variety. He's missing the point of getting the 6-foot party hero. And that's what's sad about it. Like, he just doesn't understand getting the big thing.
You've got your hand receipt because you ordered it early, or your printout.
You get it a couple like a
and
week
you're
before.
walking out with an awkwardly placed,
it's on a giant
board.
cardboard flat.
No, it's not on a cardboard. It's on an actual piece of lumber that could be in somebody's house.
It's like a 2x, like a 8-foot 2x4 or whatever.
It's a 6-foot board.
Oh, so good.
That's maybe half a foot wide, 7 inches wide, something like that. With the sandwich on there, 1/2 is American, 1/2 is Italian. They're all cut up nicely with the cocktail toothpicks that have the little cellophane on the back of them.
Little orange, red,
wrapped
green.
in the orange cellophane, red, whatever you want. Your job now is to hold the bag of the condiments for it, and then awkwardly try to angle this out of the store.
And then you got to get it in your car.
Right. That's because now you're pushing the passenger seat down flat to go into the back.
Yeah, because now you have sandwich from back seat all the way through the middle console. So you've got sandwich just sitting on your shifter all the way back to the back seat.
And you have this there, and now you're driving, and you go, I wonder if this qualifies to get me on the HOV lane. So then you try to risk that there. Cop pulls you over. Dude, I have a 6-foot party hero. What was I supposed to do? And the cop goes, I completely get it. Just watch your speed.
Yeah, you just cut off a little bit of that hero for him, and he's good.
Give him something. Give him a nice foot of the sandwich.
Look, do you like the end piece? We'll do the end piece.
Do you like? Oh, I kind of like both. Okay, let's cut from the middle then. You give you about a foot from 2 from the left, 2 from the right. Put it in another bag, and you're on your way. And you walk home. You have this thing. You're clearing off your dining room table. You're unfolding it like a Christmas present. You just rip it open. It's right there. You've got the condiments laid out. You've got your beverages, your chips, whatever else you want with it. And then you realize the next day, it's like, oh, I got to return that board to get my deposit back. There's a whole process of it. It's just an experience that you're going to sorely miss if that goes away.
Now, Tom is right here where he goes, if you waste 3 1-foot sandwiches, that's way worse than wasting one sandwich that happens to be 3 feet long.
Exactly.
I completely agree, because obviously then you're missing out on 2 possible sandwiches that could have been different.
Could have.
Whereas you've already eaten 4.5 feet of sandwich. Maybe you lose a 1.5 feet and you don't feel as bad about it.
Right.
I agree.
I can't get my thoughts out of my
You like a little variety is the spice of life, is what you're saying. And you're like, I want to have 6 feet of different hero every turn. And I guess you want the ends of the bread.
Yeah, those are always the bad part too.
What? The elbow of the fucking Italian
show,
bread
right?
is the
What?
This is their last show, right?
Yes, because it came to
This is it?
fisticuffs, and then Steve just bludgeoned Garrett to death with that.
Took that pumpkin and just beat him to death with it.
Yes.
The elbow of the fucking Italian bread is the bad part?
Yeah, kinda. It like has no hero in it.
Right.
And it's a little hard to get through.
What?
No, it doesn't. No,
Okay.
That's the good parts.
But it's the bready end. It's after you're done with all that sandwich stuff, you have your knob.
True. And you're
Fucking
getting it from
polish
like
that
an
knob.
Italian pork store kind of.
Okay. Tom's asking, is Steve slow or just very stoned? Both.
I was going to say
A
yes.
little of both. And Garrett's saying, this guy's a real Garrett. Gittles is saying, this guy's a real piece of shit.
Well, he doesn't like the bread knob. That's what you dip into the Italian dressing and you just soak it up.
Yeah.
That last.
It's like if you look, I get what Garrett's saying. Sometimes you get essentially the rounded out end piece of the bread.
Sure.
And you eat it, and sometimes it's not like there's less meat or cheese
It's
and
very lackluster,
whatever,
yes.
right? And then you got bread left over. But that's when you take it over and you go and you dip it into the oil and vinegar Tupperware that
Soak
came
it in,
with it, and you maybe sprinkle a little salt on it or pepper, and you eat it like a proper Italian would. I want a fucking sandwich now.
You have your knob.
And you're
Fucking
getting it from
polish
like
that
an
knob.
Italian pork store kind of place. So the bread's good. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Maybe I
bread's.
just haven't had a good 6-foot sub.
I think I need to invest in a 6
Party hero, not a sub.
Yeah, he's not
He's
even
getting everything
right.
wrong.
footer, and I need to just place it in front of you. See how you react.
I'm gonna start thinking of sandwiches.
You do.
Hey, we all are.
Right.
What happened when this started? All of
The
you out
second.
there listening or watching sat there and go,
God, the sandwich
when
sounds
was the
good.
last time I had a 6-foot party hero? Or I could just really go for a sandwich. Right.
Yeah.
Always could go for a sandwich.
Don't touch your mic.
Sorry. There we go. That better?
Much better.
Okay. I said you could always go for a sandwich. At any
You're
time.
back low again.
Is that better?
Much better. Don't touch it.
I spanked the mic.
Just move your head from now.
Take 3. Action. You
Go.
could always go for a sandwich at any time.
It's true.
All right.
Do me a favor. You start thinking of sandwiches.
Okay. At this point, I have to say, with the video jumps a bit. I joined their show later. I turned it on. I was watching way later, and I was like, "Oh, all right." They started like an hour and a half ago. I'll just scroll back and see what I missed. And then I saw this whole discussion on 6-foot party heroes. So I am now responding to a segment that happened like almost an hour prior to them, because that's what happens with live streaming. People join in where they want to join in. So then I'm writing to them while they're already talking about something else.
They're talking about like the New Jersey wildfires, and you're like, this is what I want to talk about. 6-foot party heroes. Catch up back to me.
Steve's more than happy to go back to sandwich talk,
100%,
and I will definitely do that.
You can open your eyes. I hit the soda. Just by the way, this is from 42 minutes ago. E-Rock says, catching up. Just catching up. 6-foot party heroes are the best.
I remember that came up either last time he was on the show or something. There was something about 6-foot heroes that he really was a big fan of.
Sure.
Or maybe we said for lunch he would order 6-foot heroes at work with his bib on. I forget.
It's probably that. This is probably what we said.
Well, Garrett and Steve show. Go find them on YouTube and Patreon and support those guys. They did a segment once where they were just saying that I would wear a bib and I brought in my own like cutlery and I would have all these,
a sandwich.
like I was cutting open a Chick-fil-A sandwich and I would eat it with a knife and fork. They are the silliest of geese.
Good eggs.
Well, I definitely want a sandwich. You all want one too. So let's go take a break. When we come back, we'll do segment 2, where we talk about television, movies, streaming updates, all this shit that's going on in the world of entertainment. And we'll have those updates for you when we come back.
More, it's Eric Nagel. It's Eric Nagel. Next. show on all social medias at It's Erik Nagel. For ways to watch or listen to the show, both live and on demand, go to itseriknagel.com.
Hey, this is Hank Azaria, and you're listening to It's Erik Nagel, which, if you think about it, makes absolutely no sense.
Segment 2 of the show, Eric and Jordan here with you, telling you all about television, movies, streaming updates, everything that's going on in the world of entertainment that you actually need to care about or not need to care about. We'll tell you if it's a waste of your time and not. And we usually start things off by talking about things that we have watched. Jordan, tell the audience what you've been watching.
This past week was the premiere of the new Dune TV show.
The
on
Nude
HBO
Dune.
Max. The Nude Dude. Dune
Nude
Prophecy.
Dude. I would like to watch. It's Dune, but everyone's nude.
Yeah, and there's so much sand everywhere.
It would probably make things much more interesting than
So
the
itchy.
reviews I'm hearing from Dune Prophecy.
Now, I did watch the first episode of Dune Prophecy. It takes place 10,000
Nude
years.
Dune, right?
Nude Dune. Takes place 10,000 years prior to the Dune movies that everyone has seen and loved. It's okay. I'm curious to see what happens with it. They set up, some kind of conspiracy type stuff. It's the start of what's called the Sisterhood, who end up becoming the Bene
traveling
Gesserit.
dunes.
That's right, Sisterhood of the Traveling Sand Pants. And it's the start of the Bene Gesserit, which are at this point called the Sisterhood. It's
They're
kind of how they're doing. And I hate when a show or a movie starts off with like 10 to 15 minutes of just spoken exposition. It's like, well, that means you just couldn't plan to film this. So you're just info dumping right on top of the start of this. And it just takes me out of it. Like, I don't care now. Like, if I wanted to read the book, I'd read the book. Let me see visually what's going on. I do want some exposition, but for 10 minutes, it was just, this is what we're doing. This is why this is here. And then they finally get to like the plot. That kind of put a sour taste in my mouth, but it looks good. So far, it's interesting enough that I'm going to continue on with the show. I've always been the one that said I didn't really enjoy the first Dune movie, but I liked the second half. Like, I liked the second one. And it's because I think where they cut it off in the books, in the movies, was just in a bad spot for me. But it's not bad. I think they're doing it weekly. Like Max has been doing with their properties like the Penguin. Mm-hmm. So it's one episode at a time. So the next episode will be this Sunday, the Pangolin. And then, so I'm going to continue with it.
Pangolin is swinging back the other way.
The other one, I caught a show. It's on, I saw it through Disney Plus, but it's hooked into my Hulu. It's a Hulu show called English Teacher. It's like a comedy about a gay English teacher in Austin, Texas.
Of course, yeah.
It's funny. Like, the cast of characters is really funny, but it is very progressive, very, very gay. I thought it was funny. It's about, I think, 8 episodes. They're pretty short. They go by pretty quick, but it is very, very progressive as far as...
Oh, yeah, I'm fixing to fuck you.
Wow, you took it from the show.
I know.
Also, another new show that's...
Great ass!
Another show that is new that I caught the first episode is
Nude?
Nude is Cross. Yeah. It's a Alex Cross.
Nude Cross. I like it. There's a whole new genre going on here. This is fantastic.
I watched a lot of porn this week.
Right.
So it's based off the James Patterson books, Alex Cross, that character. So they made a TV show out of it. I don't know how many episodes. I only watched the first episode. It's not bad so far. I like the main actor. His name is Aldous Hodge. He's been in a lot of other things. I just watched Hidden Figures with him the other day. So not a bad start to that one. I'm going to definitely continue with that one. I ended up watching Terminator 1 and 2 the other day for just no reason whatsoever, other than I bought the first Terminator on 4K that just came out. And then we both watched. Yeah, there's a lot of nudity in that one. And then you and I both watched, speaking of nudity, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul last Friday.
No. Oh, nope. There was nudity in that, too.
I was going to say, there was that interview. And then he walked around with his ashless chaps.
Yes.
So what did you think about that fight or lack of fight?
The women's fight before it was amazing.
Fantastic. terrible decision, but
Right.
fantastic fight.
The Irish bulldog lady just kept headbutting the whole time and getting scolded with some harsh words.
She
No
even got
penal,
points taken away. And
nothing,
still
and
ended
she
up
still won.
winning.
So,
she got Serrano got that really that should have went her way.
So yeah, that fight was really good. Extremely disappointed because the aftermath of the fight, people were saying, "What'd you expect? It was an expedition." It wasn't an expedition fight because they were allowed to gamble on it. There was open betting with DraftKings and stuff. You were allowed to bet on it. So legally, it's not an expedition fight. And then by the way, they both got suspended by the boxing commission for all of that stuff here.
It means nothing to Tyson. I think Jake Paul maybe, but even then,
he just rides out a year and then does his next fight. It doesn't matter.
Right.
He's not like defending a title and consistently, boxing his way up the ranks for title shots.
Another octogenarian.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. What was interesting was that the fight's not official until the 4th round, meaning that they don't get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was more of a safety precaution on Jake Paul's end, so that if Tyson didn't snap and knock him the fuck out that in the first round or something, then nobody's getting paid, nobody gets whatever. Right. So it had to go 4 rounds for the fight to be official, for a total of 8 rounds.
Yeah, Tyson requested the round limit be 2 minutes instead of, I think, the 3 to 4.
He wanted it shorter, and you could see what it was. He was just he was making $20 million.
Oh yeah.
And he was just there to keep the things moving. He blocked. Very rarely did Jake Paul get anything on Tyson, because everything else was just Tyson. They're like, oh, Tyson was getting tons of hits. Like, no, he was absorbing it the right way, like a boxer's supposed to, I just wish Tyson actually treated it like a real fight, but alas, I mean, it was not the case, and I don't really think a lot of people thought that going in, just like, I want to see Tyson kick his ass. And you thinking about it,
sure,
there's too much circus around this. This isn't going to happen. I certainly didn't think it would go that route, where even in the last round, Jake Paul backed off, started bowing and praising Tyson and trying to shake his hand.
10 seconds.
But there was still time going on. It's like, you can't do. Anyway, it was, look, got to give it to Jake Paul. He
made money.
He made money. He made such influence for Instagram. He's no longer a YouTuber anymore, or at least viewed as a YouTuber. He's a promoter. He's all of this stuff. I mean, that was like Vince McMahon level promotion and pull off for this fight. So, well done. He hoodwinked everybody with it, and it was, even though legally it was under the boxing commission, it was predetermined and what have you, but he made people care about boxing again.
A friend of mine were talking about it that night, and her and I were both like, yeah, we'd rather watch UFC and watch those types of fights. Boxing is boring as shit. There's like 8 hours lead up to every fight. It's ridiculous. Even Dana White came out and said, like, this is ridiculous. Like, you get a fight and then someone has to do a podcast for an hour before the next fight. It's the dumbest setup. And but we were all in it. Like, we were all watching. Like, everybody really wanted to see what would happen.
I did hate watching it, and not because of the fight itself.
Mainly Rosie Perez.
I enjoyed hate watching it. One, because of Rosie Perez, because Rosie Perez wasn't listening to what was going on. She would hear whatever the last person said and then would repeat that in a different way. And it's like, yeah, he just said that. Why? Like, there's no point for her being there. She was.
What frustrated me is that Tyson has this tick where when he's boxing, he tends to bite on his glove.
Mm-hmm.
Cedric the Entertainer was one of the other commentators, which made no sense to me, but whatever. And he kept saying, well, why is he doing that? There's got to be something. And then the other guy who kind of knows what he's talking about, but doesn't know how to pronounce the words, kept saying, no, I've watched Tyson fight for years. That's just a tick. And Cedric the Entertainer just kept bringing it up. And it's like, at what point do you just drop it, dude? Like, knock it off. You don't sound smart right now. You sound like an idiot. And it just was so frustrating.
Hey, I'm right here.
The show stopped. I'm just yelling at you.
It's all right.
The other thing that bothered me is the other guy kept saying iron.
Okay, so that's the other thing I was going to get to here. So the announcer, I know, famous announcer, fighter, fight enthusiast. I don't know. He's part of the fight world. Mauro Ranallo. He's out of Canada. He said this early on, way early on, before you and I were even talking about this. And it was driving me nuts. And then I brought it up and I said, he keeps saying this. He keeps saying Iron Mike Tyson is Iron Mike Tyson. And I kept posting. I'm like, who because I didn't know who the guy was at first. I'm like, who is this idiot that keeps saying Iron? He's fucking terrible. And people writing to me, oh, he's a legendary commentator. Well beloved. Somebody said, well, he's Canadian. That's just how he speaks. And go, he speaks retarded? That's not how Canadians always
they
speak.
put him in the other class because of the way he speaks, eh?
Yeah. I'm slow.
I'm slow.
So he kept saying it. And then while we were in a Netflix can do their party thing, their viewing party stuff. So you and I were in the thing and it came up again. And you went, holy shit, he is. I'm like, yeah, you notice it now? And then everybody noticed it from that point on.
Well, no, let's back it up. I tried watching on Netflix. Netflix was terrible. I couldn't log on. I couldn't connect. At some point, Giddles got a feed. So we all watched it together through Discord. Like we had to go, like people were having to like take a fight that was free if you had Netflix and you couldn't stream it.
Right.
And at one point, I had you guys in my ear. We were all talking and I tried getting on Netflix. My feed was a good 3 minutes behind yours. That's why I dropped out of hanging out with you guys because you were seeing like Tyson throwing punches and I was still in the walk up.
Right.
And I was just like, I can't do this. Like, I just couldn't believe how bad a presentation this was. Like Netflix was not ready for this. Right. And then they have to stream football games on Christmas. It's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, he said that too. The gridiron.
The gridiron.
The NFL coming this holiday season, bringing the gridiron fights, and you're like, I can't with this guy.
Yeah, we kept making Iron butterfly jokes. It was just so bad.
So yeah, he was terrible. Rosie Perez, there was no point in being there, and Cedric the Entertainer was only distracting because of his outfit. You know, like he looked like
Louis Farrakhan.
It just looked like was he cast for a '70s movie, and then he was just happened to be sitting around. They put him in.
He looked like who was it in The Great White Hope? It was just ridiculous. Like he had the weird hat. He had like a gold jacket on.
Talking to James Woods? No, that was Diggstown.
That was Diggstown.
Great White Hope. Well, I got to look it up now.
Was it? I think it was Samuel Jackson because he kept talking about how we want to get a broham, like a maroon broham.
Yeah,
yeah, because he was the promoter, and that's what Cedric the Entertainer looked like he was dressing like. Because you're thinking the fighters were, I think.
Oh yeah, he had the like the white gray hair wig.
Yeah,
and he had yeah, I'm looking at him here right now.
Yeah, hat.
He was looking like he's got so many ridiculous outfits in this movie. I forgot all about that.
Yeah,
Great White Hype, not the Great White
Hype. Yeah, so it was Peter Berg and Damon Wayans, right?
Right.
And Damon Wayans was like overweight and fat, and they wanted to fight the two.
Well,
gotta watch that again.
It is what it is. So the Tyson's fight sucked.
Yeah, really did.
What did I watch? I watched that, and then I was watching a lot of. I had no idea who this lady was till after the election, but she's a host on The View. Her name is Sonny Hostin. Do you know her?
Is she the one that?
She's a lawyer.
She's a lawyer. Is she the black woman, or it looks like she's Puerto Rican? I think she was Puerto Rican.
I don't know, but definitely a POC. And I've been seeing clips more and more now of her just saying ridiculous stuff. And she's constantly angry. Like she's not screaming angry like Whoopi Goldberg or Joy Behar and stuff like that. She says things very matter-of-factly. I know better. There was clips of her saying that the only reason people voted is because they're uneducated, and here's the chart showing you where the uneducated are voting, which, by the way, the chart was ABC News had to issue some statements. The chart was wrong. In fact, she said something about look, Matt Gaetz is this piece of garbage, but she said stuff about Matt Gaetz, and then the next day Whoopi goes, "Oh, and Sonny has something, right?" And she goes, "Yes, I do, Whoopi."
So
and then
sorry.
she looks into the camera and she has to talk very robotic because she's reading it off the teleprompter.
Mhm.
She had to legally issue a retraction about Matt Gaetz because of the stuff that, look, it's nothing that we all haven't said, but legally you can't say that on broadcast TV and stuff. And she had to issue the retraction. So she's got a whole history since the election of these clips coming out where everyone's like, she's fucking batshit crazy. And she's a bit ridiculous. And there's people that do the review commentaries on these things. And then there's clips where you start seeing it's like, oh, she's on the regular news is now covering this, that she has to apologize because she's saying things that are not factual when they all pride their things on fact checking and being factual.
Right.
So you're seeing clips of Morning Joe playing clips of her saying that she messed up here, CNN showing this. I'm like, so I had to dig into like, who is this lady that everyone's now all, like, it's like she just popped up, at least for me, out of nowhere since the election. And now it's just been nonstop clips.
Yeah.
And you can say, oh, that's your YouTube algorithm. That's part of it. But I'm seeing it a lot on social media stuff because
Seen it
it's
on TikTok. Yeah.
it's real news outlets putting this out that this lady is having a sort of a silent meltdown on a national platform. She was there was a clip that she said something that she didn't believe in. It was a set, not in the exact words, but it was the roundabout way, something about people's opinions and free speech if it's not agreeing with how we're viewing this.
Right.
And I'm trying to legally figure out the best way to put it on there because I don't have the clip. I should have pulled the clip, but yeah, there's been a lot of problems with this lady, and everyone's jumping on board like this lady needs to be fired. It's like, wow. While I'm watching these clips, something happens about 3 or 4 days ago with Whoopi Goldberg saying that she
does
not
this all the time though.
She was not served at a bakery in Staten Island because I don't think she was, I'm trying to remember. I don't think she was really saying because of her color. It was because they knew of her and her political leanings that they would not serve her. And then like, if that's the case, that's silly because we've seen stories like that where that bakery in Colorado, I think it wasn't going to sell baked goods or cakes and stuff to gay couples for gay weddings and all. Like we've seen this story before. Turns out that wasn't true either. Whoopi thinks it's true, but the bakery is like, no, that's not what it was. People, public officials, celebrity, we're all rallying around this bakery, and they've had record sales ever since Whoopi said that they weren't serving us. And like there was like, this is just how fucking batshit crazy everything is. There was like, I don't know if it was senators or representatives or something like that. It was ordering from the bakery and having it shipped down to DC, and they were catering a meeting that was going on down there. And I was like, wow, the fucking View is really the show to be watching nowadays, just because whether you agree with what they say or not, every day something's clipped out of that show and it's put all over the place. And it's not just like people saying, whoa, this person's terrible, or look at this crazy thing they said. That's all there. They're doing all the legwork for the networks, because then the networks are broadcasting about this like they're legit stories. So if you ever want to go down a weird wormhole, look up Sonny Hostin and just put The View and just watch some of these clips and you're like, wow. The ABC had issued something that The View was going to be looking for more balanced opinions on the program, that they were going to start looking into some regular conservative co-hosts to have an open and fair discussion on things going on in the show. And she comes out and is just saying like, there's one lady on there that's sort of conservative, but I forgot what they called her. It's like she's not as hard in the paint, you know. It's like she'll mention a couple of things, but doesn't whatever. And she was saying she was going against the network. I don't know how she's not fired. Is the point I'm trying to get at? Is because the network said, "Well, we're going to look into this," and she's saying, "No, that's not the way to do it. It's not wrong. They shouldn't have a voice here. They shouldn't have all." And like, then you had to issue the legal notice when ABC, because I guess the show was technically under the umbrella of ABC News. They had to do the legal thing and all this stuff in here. I'm like, this is so entertaining because now it's just a matter of Does she get promoted or fired? I don't know what's happening here, but every day is a train wreck with this.
Well, you got to think if every day is a train wreck, that means the show is in the mainstream again. People are talking about The View. So keep her on because that's going to be a thing.
Right. Too many legalities. Doesn't matter. It may cost them something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to let her go, but they may not have her on when they have the other co-hosts come on. Like they rotate some of the some of the co-hosts. I said come home.
Sure you did.
I did. They rotate some of the co-hosts because there's times that Whoopi's not there or Joy's not there or whoever. Barbara Walters hasn't been there in years. You know,
God, where's she been?
I know, where's she been? She should come back.
Resting on her laurels.
But yeah, there I am watching the clips of The View.
The one you're talking about is Alyssa Farah Griffin. I think that's the more conservative co-host.
Right, but she's not viewed as being. Yeah, she's more conservative, but
she's
not,
more right of the middle than left of the middle. So
correct. But I think ABC News was looking to bring on somebody. You know, like how Fox used to have Hannity and Combs, and Combs was their liberal voice on that network or whatever, and then eventually they got rid of Combs, but at least they had something that was sort of balancing it out. I think that's kind of the direction they're looking to go. It's like, hey, let's just occasionally get somebody in the rotation for certain topics, and then this way we can say, hey, we're giving equal time to each side. And I think it's more of a again, a legality, a barrier, if you will, going forward with all of this stuff. But yeah, that's what I was watching. All right, let's get to the real entertainment stuff here and talk about what's out right now in theaters. Wicked, which apparently got rave reviews first from the reviewers and then the audience reception. People seem to like it. There's a bit of a scuttlebutt online that some theaters have signs saying and asking, requesting, almost demanding patrons do not sing during the movie, as you will be ruining the movie-going experience for other people in the theater. And everyone's been posting these signs at theaters and telling them to fuck off. There's been clips been out that people are singing through all these other things. Look, I don't like Rocky Horror Picture Show, but I'm not going to begrudge people. I know they go there, they throw the rice, the toast, they get all
here's
weird.
The thing, that is set up for that particular reason. Wicked is coming out as a movie that happens to be a musical. You're not supposed to sit there and sing along. They are going to be putting out a worded musical version like Disney's been doing with some of their like Frozen or whatever. So there's going to be a one that you're allowed to sit there like an idiot and sing in the theater. Stop singing in the theater right now. Like that's what they're trying to stop. Rocky Horror Picture Show is set up completely different. That is meant to be interactive at this point.
Right.
You're not going in there to go, I'm really trying to watch the movie.
It's not going to happen. Because here's the thing.
You're going to get the idiots in there.
You're going to get
theater
kids, the messed up theater kids and liberal arts students and all those people that.
Well, that's going to be during the day because none of those people have jobs.
That is true. Very fair point. But the movie's doing well. It's exceeding expectations. Did it? I don't know if it won their projection is to win the box office, I guess, this weekend because Gladiator 2 is out. So I don't know who wins in that battle there.
I think Wicked is getting the more run. I know Gladiator 2 looks like it's going to, but you're banking on a sequel versus something that is very, very popular.
See, if Wicked is getting such a run, they'd be smart to reintroduce the gay kiss that they cut out, and you get both audiences there.
There you go. I mean, I don't care for Wicked. I can care less. I don't
care either.
I don't want to see it. I want to see Gladiator 2. I don't know if I'm going to see it anytime soon.
I put out.
I think Wicked is going to win.
My closest interaction and experience with Wicked.
Yeah.
Let me read it to you here. It says, I remember a time when asked management for tickets to Wicked, but it wasn't for a couple of tickets. It was more than a dozen tickets for family and friends. Pretty big request, brackets demand. Was also upset when management made ? Pay for the tickets. when question mark thought he should have been getting the tickets comped because he is a quote celebrity. End quote.
Did anyone respond to that? Like
a lot of audience did.
Right.
But that's where it lasted. So I'm just going to leave it there in the ether and let it manifest itself into something or nothing. But I put that little factoid out there because I forgot all about that until I was watching something on local news talking about crowds waiting to get into Wicked. And I went, oh my God. When you have a thought that you haven't had something from so long ago, and like, how did I even remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That was that moment. And I said, oh my God, I need to preserve this forever by tweeting it out. So that's what
has to be out there.
Moving over to video on demand, Smile 2. If you like that franchise, if you like schlocky horror movies, there you go. Over on Netflix, we talked about the Tyson fight is still up there if you need to go and relive that for some reason. A Man on the Inside with Ted Danson. What is that movie?
He plays, I think he's a retired teacher or something like that in a I believe it's like an old folks home, and a private detective agency hires him to investigate something that's going on in the old folks home.
Gotcha.
So he's kind of leaning into his age and kind of doing these little bit, these projects, which it's cool. Like, I like Ted Danson a lot. So I think I'm going to check it out. I know he's been doing a podcast with Woody Harrelson, what's called, I think, Where Everyone Knows Your Name. And he does interviews about stuff.
No, it's under Conan O'Brien's umbrella. Right. So it's Ted Danson, and it says, and sometimes Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, it says sometimes. Like the other day, I watched an interview where he interviewed his wife, Mary Steenburgen, and it was just him. And he's like, I don't know what to ask my own wife. I've been living with you for like 30 years. I'm like, it's good radio there, Ted. But yeah, it's pretty fun. But I think the show looks pretty good, so it should be fun to watch.
There's that, and then also on Netflix, Adam Ray, comedian Adam Ray, been getting a lot of run doing his Dr. Phil shorts, live sessions on comedy shows, comedy clubs. Did a special for Netflix called Dr. Phil Unleashed, and it's where Dr. Phil meets Dr. Phil.
Oh man!
So I still have yet to watch that, but I've been told good things, and I enjoyed the clips. I enjoyed the podcast that's been coming out. So we'll check that out. Over on Peacock, Twisters and St. Denis Medical. It's a sitcom that's supposed to be like I guess it's supposed to be in the vein of Scrubs or something, but
it looks like Scrubs mixed with The Office. It's very like, oh, we're breaking the fourth wall. We're talking to the crew that's there, kind of medical.
I saw a clip of it, and it looks terrible. So
yes, I know.
Sitcom stuff, it's very difficult to do the sitcoms stuff anymore and make it look good. It's weird because it's St. Denis Medical, but if you played Red Dead Redemption 2, there is a city, Saint Denis, but I used to call it St. Denis because that's what it translated to. But whatever. Over on Max, we talked about new Dune Prophecy. Over on Amazon Prime, Cross, based on Alex Cross character from James Patterson.
Yep.
Okay. Jordan enjoyed that.
So far, so good.
Over on Hulu, Alien Romulus is available, which I'm going to go over there and try to finish that movie because I didn't finish it yet. And Interior Chinatown, what is this?
It's a kind of like a comedy where there's this guy, this Asian guy, who's kind of plays a background character in a police procedural. And it's like, he's trying to kind of get out of it. It's very like fourth wall-ish. Like he knows where he's at and he's trying to get out of that sort of thing. So it looks interesting. There really isn't a lot of stuff coming out right now. So like they're just throwing everything on to streaming and getting it out there. So we'll see.
All right. Coming out next week on NBC Peacock and NBC Broadcast Television in these United States, the 98th Macy's Thanksgiving Parade will be broadcast for your holiday viewing pleasure. And then usually you forget to turn the channel off when the parade is done. You come back into the living room and there's like the Westminster Dog Show or something that's going on there.
My mom loves that. She always watches it every year.
And then also on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, Moana 2.
I keep forgetting that's coming out. And then like they keep seeing commercials like, oh God, that's right. That's a movie.
It looks like it's going to be a big deal. I mean, the first one did gangbusters for Disney.
Yeah.
And because they have this, and then in 2026 they have the live action.
I saw some behind the scenes photos of The Rock dressed up as his character, and he got the long hair. I'm like, oh, that's weird looking, but it makes sense.
So you have that, and then on Disney Plus, the day after Thanksgiving will be Beatles 64. I don't know what that is. Is it about the
It's just more footage of like the 1964,
or is it about the creation of When I'm 64?
I don't know. It's just more. I think it's just more footage stuff.
This one guy goes, "It's not even their song; it's a cover," and that's it. Credits. That's it. It's done.
It's a it's a short.
All right, moving on to entertainment news. Conan O'Brien. We had just mentioned him. His company's producing the Ted Danson and sometimes Woody Harrelson podcast. Has just been announced as the host for the 97th Academy Awards, coming in beginning of February?
Usually February,
March?
April, March, yeah, somewhere around there.
February, April, is that what you said?
Yeah, between there, the 3 months.
February, April, March, February. No, what is it? January, February, March, April, May. Girl, you know I love you, but I really can't stay. Guantanamera.
What a joke.
Oh no, that was not Guantanamera. It was Gone Till November by Wyclef. Same guy, mixed the songs up. Simpsons news. When have we had Simpsons news? It's been a long time. Some people don't care. I still do. Voice actor Pamela Hayden, one of the OGs for The Simpsons, is retiring after 35 years on the show.
That's kind of a bummer, because most of the time, if you're losing a character, it's usually, well, in one case, I believe the voice of Maud Flanders got fired, but usually everybody else passes away, and that's why they leave the role. Retiring is kind of weird.
You're ripping off Mike Reese's tweet.
Did he tweet about this?
Mike Reese, former OG writer and showrunner for The Simpsons, posted this tweet here saying, "Farewell to the adorably brilliant Pamela Hayden. Up to now, people only left The Simpsons cast by dying."
I mean, it's true. What was it? Marcia Wallace?
Marcia Wallace is gone.
She passed. But like I said, the voice of Maud Flanders, the reason why they killed off her character is that there was I think a pay dispute with the actress.
Mm-hmm.
So they just wrote her out.
She's gone, and then they killed Apu.
Yeah, but
for stupid reasons. Anyway, so Pamela Hayden's retiring after 35 years. Her final performance will air this Sunday on Fox TV in the United States. The next day on Hulu. Everywhere else it'll be available. If you're not familiar with her, she voices Milhouse, Rod and Todd Flanders, Jimbo Jones, Chief Wiggum's wife, Sarah, Krusty the Clown's secretary, Lois Pennycandy. And she was also, in the early days, she was Lisa's African-American best friend, Janie.
Janie, yeah, I remember
right?
Janie.
But prior to 2022, when white voice actors were removed from playing non-white characters and had to be recast with voice actors that matched the character's race and ethnicity.
Yeah, that's what happened with, remember Cleveland from Family Guy had to be recast.
So dumb.
I know.
So dumb. But meanwhile, it's like, well, Ariel doesn't. All right, Ariel is a white mermaid. Is that the rules we're playing with then? So it should be a white. No one's giving a fuck about that stuff. Stop caring about this shit. I'm glad it's kind of dying down because it's not really. Well, actually, it's getting heat. It might heat up again because of Snow White.
That and How to Train Your Dragon live action, because it's a show about Vikings and the girl who plays Astrid is black. I know.
Whatever.
Great actress, but yes, it feels weird.
Here's the little teaser that they put out for Pamela Hayden.
I'm Pamela Hayden. Hi.
Wow, cool.
I do Jimbo Jones, one of the boys.
Don't mess with me.
I'm Rod and sometimes Todd.
Yay!
And my main guy is Milhouse.
This is where I come to cry. Way to drink, Poindexter!
People would come up to me and they quote Milhouse lines.
I've said Jiminy Jilliker so many times the words have lost all meaning. People are always saying what a nerd he is.
Nice puppy.
But one thing that I love about Milhouse is He's always getting knocked down, but he keeps getting up.
I'm never giving up.
Here he is.
Not again!
I love the little guy.
It's this wonderful analogy for life. You put your glasses back on and you go on. Oh, Millhouse. Everything's coming up Millhouse. Who knew that it would ever become this phenomenon? It's the greatest job in the world.
It's the hardest place to put on bulk.
It really is one of the greatest jobs you can have, is doing voiceover work for an animated series.
Right.
And it just always drove me nuts. Like, with on and off the last 20 years, Harry Shearer has been such a dick about all of this.
I know.
And he's just like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's like all you did your entire career was characters and sketch writing and all this stuff here. And now you get to record it from wherever you want. You send the line. Like,
I believe he was probably, I know COVID didn't really help, but I think he was the one that
COVID O'Brien
spearheaded. Yeah, COVID O'Brien was the one that spearheaded working from home more often because he just didn't want to go in and do the work. So I'll restructure my stuff, but you got to let me record from home. And then it just, then it became necessity. But yeah, I don't get it. It's like when people get real popular for something in a character and they just fight against it for years. I'm like, just lean into it, man. If you're beloved by people, why fight it?
I know.
Especially in The Simpsons.
So dumb.
I love Millhouse.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
I wanted to show you a couple of clips of some of my favorite things with Millhouse. I'll start with my second favorite clip here because I think this became a very famous meme. And I think it's one of the more popular versions of Millhouse that everybody knows.
Come on, Homer, open the door for your mystery date.
Ooh, captain of the football team. He's a dreamboat. Don't wait up, Marge.
Okay, Bart, your turn.
This is the best.
You got the dud!
Hey, he looks just like you, Poindexter.
The look on Homer's face, like the smile that creeps up on his face, it's just perfect animation. Like they captured that moment perfectly.
Well, that's the meme.
I know.
Where they just, you see the dud shows up somewhere and then whoever was looking at it gets the Homer mouth where it just goes, and that's just the cruelty of him shoving it in Millhouse's face where Millhouse is obviously not happy and Homer's just laughing in his face. My favorite one is not the one a lot of people talk about, but it's a play on the Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive.
Mm-hmm.
And I put both because the clips are spaced out throughout the episode, but I put them all together in this little package here. Take a look.
How about if I dig up some dirt on Allison? Remember I got Millhouse's picture on America's Most Wanted?
There he is on the monkey bars.
Try to take him alive.
All right, hold on. Just the
goes right through the fence.
The fence breaking through the chain link fence on the playground, and these little kids are diving out of the way.
They don't even care.
It's not horrible, but they won't ever do stuff like that anymore.
No.
But it's so hilarious that they're just like the kids are in danger by the federal government as they're plowing through a playground.
Take him alive.
No, not again.
Again.
And they just drove through the monkey bars or whatever he was on there, and it's like, not again.
I like how it breaks apart.
Yeah.
I did tip off the feds as to the whereabouts of our good friend Millhouse.
I'm telling you, I didn't do anything.
I don't care.
Poor Millhouse.
My
glasses. I think I left my glasses in your pool.
Such funny shit.
Mrs. Simpson, do you have my teeth? No. It's like he's keeping his teeth for some reason. Oh, poor Millhouse. I love Millhouse so much.
I always get that scene confused with the potatoes because she's like,
oh yeah, that's
where
right.
she goes, Mom, what is with you and the potatoes? And she just goes, I just think they're neat. And she looks at them. I keep thinking that's the final line when it's like, she has Millhouse's teeth. And It's like, why do you have that? I just think they're neat, but that's not how it goes.
Yeah.
All right.
That's gonna suck. Do we know if they're gonna like try to get a different actress?
Yeah, they're
do
gonna
her
recast.
acting?
They're gonna recast Millhouse.
Never sounds the same.
I know.
I guess we're just gonna have to go.
No,
through
what up
35
there,
years
what?
of stuff.
And you're like, oh my god. Actually, you know what? I have two
Everything's
examples
coming
here.
up Millhouse.
Same actress, just you could tell the aging and stuff, right? So this is the original one
Everything's coming up, Millhouse.
from like the 90s, right?
Mhm.
This was one from I think in the late 2000s.
Everything's coming up, Millhouse.
Yeah,
Same lady,
there's
but you could tell the
difference.
voice changed.
Well, yes, Homer went through the same thing because that first time everything's coming up Millhouse was like season 10.
Right.
We're on season like 39. You know,
All right,
so
moving
it
on.
makes sense.
Comcast is spinning off all its cable assets into a separate company called SpinCo. Comcast announced this past Wednesday that MSNBC, CNBC, the USA Network, Oxygen, remember E? E was important for a while.
For a long time.
I don't know anybody that watches E anymore.
I didn't know E was still a thing.
Right. The Sci-Fi Channel and the Golf Channel as part of a new company called SpinCo. NBC Universal Chairman Mark Lazarus will lead the new company. The announcement meeting was peppered with questions about the company. Will it have layoffs? Will MSNBC, CNBC need to change their names, logos, and headquarters after reports surfaced of the new entity could be cut from the reporting muscle of NBC News? Lazarus told staffers that he wasn't sure if the network would have to change its identity or its home yet. The cable networks were an attractive lure when the Comcast was completing its takeover of NBC Universal back in 2011. But with the rise of popularity in streaming services has eroded cable TV subscriptions and viewership, Comcast would retain NBC Universal's NBC Broadcast Television Network, its film and television studios, and its theme parks, as well as Peacock streaming. Comcast would also retain Xfinity broadband service, which is their cable company and internet service. So, imagine they sell all that off piece by piece. Like, that's where cable's going. It's just like, yeah, cable's not worth our time anymore. Goodbye. Bunch of MCU Marvel updates for you. So they had the APAC content showcase in Singapore this week. And Kevin Feige, however you want to pronounce it, was there virtually and released some information about updates, what's coming up the next years involving Marvel and the MCU. For Deadpool and Wolverine, it debuted at almost 20 million views on Disney Plus in its first 6 days of streaming, which is
crazy.
a record for them. The Thunderbolts is what Marvel is all about, says Feige. The film is an anti-hero group who performs missions for the U.S. government. It is due out May 2nd of 2025. On the X-Men, he teased that fans may see some beloved mutants before the end of the multiverse saga, as they will lead into the Age of Mutants, his words, sharing the following: I think you will see that continues in our next few movies with some X-Men players that you might recognize. Right after that, the whole story of Secret Wars really leads us into a new age of mutants and the X-Men. So we had speculated that that's what was going to happen. We also speculated that Secret Wars was supposed to be the end of the multiverse stuff too, but maybe that's how all this comes to play. Everything, it gets locked into one timeline.
Yeah, maybe they'll just merge it all together.
So we shall see. And also on the Fantastic Four, they're wrapping up production next week. The movie comes out next summer, and then all the characters go right into the next Avenger movies. So Avengers 5 and 6. That's the next time we'll see Fantastic Four after their movie debut, which comes out July 25th next summer. DC Studios had some news that no one really batted an eye at. They say that they're eyeing Daniel Craig, an Oscar-nominated filmmaker. Is it Luca or Lucia?
Luca.
Luca. You want to try to take a chance at that? Guadagnino? I apologize. They're going to trying to get them together to reteam for the property Sergeant Rock. I'm not familiar with that. No details have been inked between the studios and those two, but Luca is they're trying to get this done, as Luca's next project is the reboot of American Psycho.
Yeah. Who cares?
I keep saying this. You don't need to reboot movies that were already successful. Rebooting going forward should be, hey, this movie flopped in the 70s or in the 80s. We're going to give it another go. That's where you should do reboots, to try to make something out of stuff that didn't succeed back in the day. Not like, hey, let's redo the Terminator. What? Why? Oh, just because we can. We own the property. Okay, cool. You're going to have everyone hate you, and it's just going to make all your future projects even worse. But what can you do? Wild Hogs 2, a sequel that nobody really wanted or cared about, apparently is back in development with the original casting return. It's the sequel to guess what year Wild Hogs was?
It's got to be early 2000s, right?
2007.
Jesus, why are we
almost
doing
20
this?
years? Has been in the works with Disney. Wild Hog star Tim Allen, John Travolta, Martin Lawrence, and William H. Macy are slated to return. It remains to be seen whether Wild Hogs 2 will receive a theatrical release or a streaming-only premiere for Disney+. It is also unknown if Wild Hogs director Walt Becker will return for the sequel. This isn't the first time there was a sequel that has been in development. Wild Hogs 2 Bachelor Ride was scheduled to come out in 2010. However, the sequel was canceled in 2009 after the failure of a project called Old Dogs that Becker, I guess, had worked on there, starring Travolta and Robin Williams, failed. So that other property failed that he worked, so they nixed the sequel.
Yeah, I didn't know about Old Dogs or the Bachelor Ride one. None of these made sense. Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Whatever.
It is what it is. All right. What else do we have here? Robert Pattinson news. Non-Batman, sorta.
No Pattinson.
He's reteaming with Christopher Nolan for an Oppenheimer filmmaker's latest. Oh, sorry, for the Oppenheimer's film. I thought it was an Oppenheimer like spin-off sequel or something. They're going to just make another bomb in a different timeline. So he's reteaming with Christopher Nolan for the filmmaker's new feature film. He joins a stacked cast including Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Lupita Nyong'o.
Do it, Nyong'o,
and Zendaya. Nolan wrote the script and is directing the project, which Universal Pictures will distribute. It's set to release July 17th of 2026.
The rumor is that he's doing a horror movie.
With that big of a cast for a horror movie?
Yeah. Christopher Nolan. Yeah. So we'll see.
I'd like to see new things. Let's see where that goes then. A show From. I've never watched it.
So good.
Renewed for a 4th season. The pickup comes days before the show concludes its 3rd season, with its finale scheduled for this Sunday. What network is it on?
MGM Plus. That's why you've never watched it. No one.
So that's Amazon.
It can be done through Amazon, yes.
No, but I mean, Amazon owns MGM.
Amazon owns the property, but they place it behind the paywall of MGM Plus. So you can't watch it on Amazon unless you get MGM Plus version of Amazon. Yeah, it's the whole thing. It's a great show. It's worth at least watching that.
All right. Season 4 is slated to begin production in Nova Scotia next year and will likely premiere in 2026. Star Wars Visions, whatever this is, has been renewed for season 3. It comes to Disney in 2025. I know
Visions
nothing
is
about
actually
it.
really good. It's remember back in the day where like Matrix did Animatrix, where it was like, hey, these are the like 10 different. Oh my god!
I remember it wasn't good.
Okay, so this is what this is. This is different Star Wars stories told by different animated properties.
Okay.
So like they'll do like a samurai, animation, but it's a Star Wars story, and they did like 4 or 5 of them in season 1. They did a bunch of them in season 2, and then now they're doing a wrap up. They're going to do one more season. It's really good.
Jake Hudson's in the chat there. Hello, Jake. How are you? Hope you are well. All right, so some other Star Wars nonsense is coming out. Jordan says it's good, so give it a look. How to Train Your Dragon. We mentioned that earlier. The live action version is coming to theaters on June 13th. Apparently, this might be internet fodder, or already is internet fodder for appropriation casting.
I can care less. I think it looks good.
All right. Well, that's it for the entertainment stuff for segment 2. I do want to say next week. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's do the plugs right now. There's the music. All right, Jordan. Nation's eyes are turning to you. Tell us about the show and what's going on.
So you can follow me. Click the button. Jinx Ronan. Not gonna do it. Dick. All right. So next week.
No, sorry. I was looking at something else. Oh no, there you go.
Oh yeah, if you want to get on Blue Sky, it's funny. I gained 2 followers on Blue Sky after doing last week.
I got a bunch of followers, and none of them are doing anything.
No one's doing anything on Blue Sky. X and Instagram, you go at Jinx Run. Follow me there. Twitch, Jinx Run 79. I'm gonna do some video gaming stuff. Next week, we do have a scheduling change due to the Thanksgiving holiday here in the United States. So instead of doing the show on Thursday like we normally do live, we are going to do a live show this upcoming Tuesday.
Yes, but because of other things we have to do, the show will be recorded live on Tuesday night. Mm-hmm. Will not be released until Thursday. So the audio podcast, the video, and all that stuff goes out on Thursday for Thanksgiving. But you can come join us live on Tuesday nights if you want to do it. And we're gonna have a guest.
Yes, we are.
Who is that guest?
This week we're gonna have Brian Shea, our pal, former employee of Game Informer. He's gonna come on and talk video games, what's coming out, what's going on. We got the new PlayStation Nostalgic Edition that just came out, all gray. It's hard to find. Everyone's getting it. A lot of updates. PlayStation Pro. The new Mario game just dropped that we both kind of were surprised that came out.
Brothership, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I got to look at a trailer and see I see clips online, but it's not really making any sense. So I need to.
I think we're coming to the end run of the Switch. I mean, it's been out way longer than it should have. So I think they're really just trying to get a few things out just to tide us over until the official announcement of the Switch 2.
Fair enough.
But yeah, Brian will speak to all that.
And he's going to do his holiday gaming guide for us, where he'll tell you about games that you need to be aware of and what to get for you, your family, your kids, whatever, suggestions, what platforms, all of that stuff. He will enlighten us all about the video games that we need to be aware of for this holiday season.
Speaking of guides, I have these.
Hi, guides.
I want, like we did last year, do we want to do this before Thanksgiving or closer to the Christmas holiday where we go over all of our catalogs that we keep getting in the mail? Have you been getting any?
It's funny you said that because I've been getting my assorted meats catalogs.
I got a meats one.
Yeah.
So we can talk all the meats. I got some Lego ones.
Dude, I opened it up the other day. Look at this.
2 meat catalogs.
Look at that. Look at that bacon.
Oh, it's so good.
Right on the
so going into the food
casket.
holiday, yeah. I got some ribs. Oh, that's so good.
I know.
So I've been hoarding these as I've gotten them. I know we tend to like to go through some of these things and
'tis the year to give assorted meats.
Yes. Order some meats.
So we'll talk about all that,
so let's do that
very soon. For me and the show, it's Erik Nagel across the board on all the social medias. If you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, thank you very much for doing so. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, any other place you get your shows for on-demand content, do us a kindness, go over there, leave us a positive review. It does help out the program. We're stealing blatantly from Who Are These Podcasts. Leave do the 5-star thing, say something nasty in the comments. We don't care at that point. As long as the 5-star, the positive review, that's the important thing. It does help out the program. If you want to join us live each and every week, except for next week where we're doing it on Tuesday night, folks, come into our live rooms on Twitch and on YouTube, both under It's Erik Nagel. And the video and the audio versions will be out on Thanksgiving for your enjoyment.
And then Tom in the chat was asking, will the Twitch chat be live? Yes, if we're going live, chats will be up. Come hang out. Come say a kind word. Maybe talk about Thanksgiving. Not your Thanksgiving, Tom. That was back in October. You're Canadian. It's gross.
Yeah.
So talk about all
Canadian
the
is all,
meats.
Molson cheese, beer soup, and back bacon, which, by the way, sounds fantastic.
So fantastic.
Got any back bacon there, Earl? Fresh out. All right. We got to get out of here. Until the next time, everybody.
Be excellent to each other.
And we will be seeing you.
It's Erik Nagel.
Quitting time.
Quitting time. Thank God it's Friday.
Thursday.
Same thing. See you Monday.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Erik Nagel on social media platforms. For ways to watch and listen to the show or join us for the live shows, head over to itseriknagel.com. Yo, and remember to tell 2 friends so they can tell 2 friends, and they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends. You get the idea.
Keep it real, homies.